up, everybody? Back in the house for another Toss One Back Thursday. Happy Thursday to everybody out there. Myself, Todd, and you know how we do. Going to kick back, have a few beers, chat with you, the folks, see what you guys want to talk about, what you guys come up with for this week on some various topics. You never know what you guys are going to come up with. I thought about a couple topics for tonight, but we'll see if we get into them or not. 2 weeks away from the kickoff of the college football season, which is freaking awesome. And it means 3 weeks for the NFL, so which is become like the notorious football league or something like that with the whole Deshaun Watson scandal now. So
well, they did extend his 11 games now. So
yeah, I thought is it 11? Just 11 or 11 on top of the other 6, so he'd be out the whole year?
I think it's just 11 total.
Oh, just, yeah. So
so they said on the radio today that, it's funny that the first game that he gets to play in is in Texas, at Houston. They're like, I think that was a coincidence. Yeah, I think not. We'll make it 11 games.
Yeah, they want to get them dollars, and that's going to draw some people out there for sure. So yeah. Yeah, one thing about Goodell, he knows he wants that money, and the owners want him to go out and get that money. So
he's not going to turn it down, that's for sure.
Yeah. Shout out to everybody coming in the chat. Little drinking music in the background, making a little smooth out here. Might go into my little Barry White voice at some point. Yeah. Barry White. Like how y'all doing out there tonight? Yeah. See you in the back row. How you doing? Yeah. Cheers to Gilbert in the house. What is up, PG? And JV's in the house. Cheers, JV. JV with the first. What is happening, homie? Always good to see you. JV had a pretty good thing on his channel yesterday. If y'all haven't checked out JV's Hangout, check him out. Only got to watch it a little bit because we were gaming afterwards, but he had he does a battle of the bands on various Wednesdays. I don't know if you're doing it every Wednesday or not, but always tends to be on a Wednesday, and he had covers versus the original. So one song, the original group that did it, and someone that did a cover of it. So it was pretty interesting from the part that I saw there.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I watched a little bit of it last night too.
Yeah. Yeah, you were wrong. Gilbert was here first. He got you on that one for sure. Thank Gilbert because the pop charters got that one. Yeah. What is going on, Robin? Cheers to Buxton Burnett. Welcome to the channel. The first time here, so very much welcome to the channel. Anytime you got Buxton in the name, that's always a good thing. Cheers, everybody working for Friday, right? So we get to Friday tomorrow. For many, not for all. It's the end of the week, and that's what we're all looking forward to getting to for sure. So last weekend, I was actually up in New Jersey. So this past week, I shared an unboxing of beers that I picked up there. Ended up catching up with BJ over at Joe Canal's liquor outlet, and he actually does a lot of stuff for picking the beers there. So he always keeps a pretty good selection in.
Nice.
And he actually has, I think it's BJ Drinks Beer over on Instagram that you can check him out, where he does some beer reviews and shares some of the stuff he got there. Alex the Beer Master, he's right down the street from there, so he caught up with him, I think on Sunday, and they did a video. So good guy, good stuff in the store. If you saw the unboxing, you saw I got some pretty good things. And if you're ever in South Jersey, I know our buddy Bart, he said he's going to check it out because he's not too far from there either. And next time, if I get some more time when I'm up there, I only had like an hour and a half at that time. Hopefully try to catch up with Bart and Alex and all of them. Maybe we can do a meetup over at Joe Canals or something, which would be pretty cool, I think.
So you didn't meet up with Alex this time?
No, not this time. He wanted to, but I just didn't have time between all the stuff we had to get planned, and plus just being in, I had to get some stuff out of the way, working with my mom and everything while I was up there. And then it was a big birthday party, and
they're just quick in and out anyway, wasn't it?
That's how it always is. Yeah. Yeah. Just in and out for a little bit of time. We got up there. We went up Friday afternoon, there Saturday, then we came back Sunday afternoon. So her birthday was actually on Sunday, but we celebrated on Saturday with all her friends, all that kind of stuff at the Bahama Breeze restaurant, and not a place you can really try to really go to, like, as I've shared before, we're working back out and everything like that. Like, just throw the calories out the window. You go to a place like that, it's like freaking every appetizer is like at least 800, 900 calories, right? So it's just like, you just know you're off your plan when you're there that day. You're like, so that whole weekend, I didn't do anything about tracking stuff. I was just like, throw it all out the window.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, but it was a good time. She was happy we were up there. I ended up picking up some records to bring back home. So she has some of the classic records. She's finally letting those go a little bit. So anytime I get a little extra vinyl, I always pick that up and have some nice ones to add into my collection now. I tried to get more than I actually came back with, but she decided to keep some of them when she saw what I was taking. So I was like, okay.
She's like, no.
Yeah. Perhaps she thought some were mine that weren't even mine. It was just like, no, like she had the Led Zeppelin 2 album, Led Zeppelin second album on vinyl. And I knew she always had that, and I've tried to get that for years and ended up finally letting it go. She's like, oh, this must be your record. I'm like, they came out like in the 60s. I wasn't even born in 69. Pretty sure I didn't go to Sam Goody and purchase that one.
I'll take it anyway.
Yeah, but I've been wanting to get that for a while because I know the value of that second album that they came out with, and it's like I said, it's on vinyl, which is sweet. And picked up some other vinyl treats and stuff. So eventually, I'll have a lot more of them. Obviously, when things happen, but right now she wouldn't hang on. I was like, "When's the last time you listened to this record?" She's like, "I'm gonna listen to it tomorrow. I'm gonna listen to this thing." You're not gonna listen to this record, although she does have the turntable there. It's like, all right, well, get it.
So did you ask her if she did or not?
Yeah, well, she said she listened to some like a few months ago, like that and everything. I'm like, that turntable looks like it moved since I was here back in April at Easter. It looks like it's still the same spot and everything, but what are you gonna do? So I'll pick up some more at a later time. But I did get one of the Ohio Players album from her, which was a tough pull.
Oh, nice.
Surprisingly, she let me leave with the Parliament and the Bootsy Collins, which I thought she wouldn't let me get out of the house with those.
Oh, wow.
Got a few old James Brown. One Aretha. I had a couple of Arethas. She was like, no, you can't take these. I had like one Aretha I got out of the house with. And then I got one of the Bad Company albums that she had there. And then I'm trying to think who else I got. And some of them were mine. So I had some of the old ones that were there that were actually mine, like Soul to Soul and Loose Ends from back in the 80s. So I grabbed those and stuff like that and stuff. The one I had in my collection there before when I was like a young kid was actually the last one that Elvis actually did on live vinyl from Madison Square Garden. So I ended up picking that up just because the value of that probably. Because that's all on vinyl too.
I think my mom still has that one. She's got several of my dad's old stuff. A lot of Elvis stuff back then.
Yeah.
Our daughter actually just had it and borrowed some of it. She's got a record player. And once the vinyls were like, you need records? She's like, no, they're vinyls. I'm like, yeah, okay.
You say, what's the record made out of?
So she borrowed those for a little while and then she gave them back.
Yeah.
That was cool.
So that was so that was kind of cool getting some of that stuff there. Let's see here on the comments. Slide on down. Thanks, Rod J. Todd, you guys always welcome to join. Yeah, I was talking to EB. He thought about trying to pop on, but then we all started playing Warzone, so he didn't make it over there. But I do want to get on one of your musical episodes because I think it's kind of fun what you're doing there.
I think the part I tuned in, they were talking about Aretha Franklin and somebody else, but I can't remember who. What the song was.
Well, there can't be no cover that beats Aretha unless Aretha did the cover. Because if she's the original Aretha, you can't beat Aretha. If she's the original.
I think a lot of the people, if JV's still around, I think a lot of the people were saying the cover of it.
But then they don't know music. That's all I'm going to say. As a licensed FCC DJ, I'm going to just say you can't beat Aretha. That's my preference. That's my.
I can't remember who it was and what the song was now, though. So
yeah,
it doesn't really do any good at this point.
I was saying hello. JT's in the house. Cheers, my friend. Good to see you. Howdy, friends. Hey, JT. I hear you, Gilbert. Hey, what's happening? Dave Z in the house. Beer in front. Cheers, my friend. And if you don't know Dave, make sure you check out his podcast. He has one of the great podcast out there in beer in front, out of Chicago. He actually just has a YouTube channel as well, so make sure to check him out here on YouTube. He just did a Simply Spiked lemonade. So now Simply's got alcohol out there too, apparently. Like everybody's getting these alcohol little things, you know what I mean? So I haven't seen it before, but Dave just did a review on it.
If I'm not mistaken, I think they have like a mixed 4-pack or something of the Simply Spiked lemonades, like different flavor of lemonades.
Like lemonade and like watermelon and
yes, yeah, like lemonade.
Yeah.
Yeah, the base lemonade and then like 3 other flavors. Could be wrong, but I think it's Simply that's doing that, I believe.
Yeah, people today coming out with these little flavors, they'll never know the times that we had with Bartle and James back in the day. Bartle and James could be making a killing right now. Could be making a killing.
Right. Pioneers, they're pioneers before their time. We knew it, Ronnie.
Hopefully, I never see Cisco come back. I joke about Zima, but Cisco, I would never want to see back out there again either. Man, that's some bad episodes of that one. Nobody wanted to be the Cisco kid with that. That's for sure. Oh, that's another one. Like I had, she had one of the War albums that was actually from my aunt, and I tried to get that, and she was like, she just took it like, you can't have this right now. like you don't even listen to War. Like, and they're like, it wasn't even your album; it was your sister's album. But, you know.
It's like I don't care. You don't get it.
Yeah.
You can't have it.
JT, thanks for watching. Thanks, JV, homie. Appreciate you. Hey, JV. And JV had a big folder in my iTunes called Sources and Covers. Oh, you should get up on the show with them, JT.
Yeah, no kidding.
You go over some of the stuff there, too. Big Daddy in the house.
Daddy.
What is up? What is up? Got a little juice for us. You got a little New Belgium rocking over there.
Been a lot of that going around here lately.
Yeah. 1,500 files. That's a good amount of memory there.
Dang. No kidding.
Mojo Rising. Hey, Robin. Yeah. Let me some Ohio Players on 70s Funk. Yeah, the Ohio Players. I got, like I said, the Funkadelic. I got Bootsy. Brass. I think I took Brass Construction. I didn't take like the Spinners or anything like that off those ones there, but at some point I'll probably pick those up too. But yeah, as a kid growing up back in the 70s, the whole vinyl game was totally different because it was about the record in the vinyl as well as it was about the artwork. So you had a lot of artistic expression from the 70s to the 80s. Right. And Ohio Players, some of the covers they had on their stuff. I got the Fire album where it's like the naked woman wrapped like in a fire hose, and then they had some other ones. It was just like, before you found the old catalog to the John Wanamaker's or whatever store to get the Gimbals or whatever it was, you had the Ohio Players and their album covers.
Pushing the boundary.
Yeah. You're like, whoa, mama.
So he started walking down the alley.
Yeah.
Kids out like, you can't see that. You can't see
that. And then she did have there was 2 comedy albums there. They weren't hers, I don't think. They might have been my aunt's as well, but one was like Bill Cosby, one of the old Bill Cosby ones. I took that, and the other one's old Dick Gregory, so I took that too. But she was like, you can have the Bill Cosby. Oh, she's over Bill now. So she's like, take that out of my house. I don't want that man in my house, type thing. I'm like, yeah, but those jokes were still funny back then. Robinson Ada Mojo, Gilbert, and A Bear in Front. Everybody say hello, just up front. There you go. Awesome. That's how you do. Baby Huey is likely my fave. There you go. I love Aretha. I think it was the Otis Redding song Respect that went to Otis' original song. So Otis did original Respect and not Aretha. I did not know that, if that's the case. Aretha's the one.
No, I don't think that was it though. I don't think it was Otis Redding. It was a group, I believe. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't Otis Redding though.
Well, Otis did do Respect.
Yeah, but I don't think that was the song that they had. I don't believe. Hell, who knows? It may not even been Aretha for all together. I don't know.
Yeah. So Otis did the original in 1965. But then the song became a 1967 hit, a signature song for Aretha Franklin. So he did it.
Yeah.
But Aretha blew it up.
Yeah.
It's like the song that Whitney Houston did from Dolly Parton for the Bodyguard movie or whatever.
All right, yeah.
It's like Dolly did it first, but nobody really heard it much. But then Whitney just like blew it up, and it became like Whitney's song at that point. You know,
everybody's like, Dolly.
Rarely does a cover beat an original, but yeah, I would give respect to Aretha on that one. Plain Lemonade was pretty good. Oh, was it? I haven't seen that anywhere, so I'll have to definitely watch your video on it too to get all your thoughts there. How to Drink did a wine cooler episode recently. Really? That's pretty funny. There's still wine coolers out there to be found then, I guess. Because I haven't even seen a wine cooler ever so long.
I think Shannon's friend brought over a 12-pack or so of Seagram's. I think it was Seagram's.
Those Seagram's has a wine cooler out there.
Yeah. It was a bunch of Seagram's mixed pack of wine coolers or something.
I still think of, I mean, it's just like in my mind, every time somebody says wine coolers, Bartles and James comes to mind first.
Yeah.
Otis Redding wrote everything. Otis Redding did a lot. He definitely did a lot. Cisco 0 to 5 drunk in 3 minutes. Occasionally, you might want to fight somebody with some Cisco. Like, what are some of the worst alcohols to put you over the edge? You'd have like Cisco. This, of course, if you didn't pass out already, you'd have like Cisco. You'd have Mad Dog. You'd have Wild Irish Rose. You'd have. I don't think Boone's Farms ever made you want to fight anybody, but that would definitely get you lit as well.
I would hope that wouldn't make you fight anybody.
Yeah, usually that was kind of like around a campfire type drink thing, like cheap drinks around a campfire or something.
Probably right in the refrigerated section, right next to the Mad Dog 2020.
Two things that are just like, if there was the other side of the tracks and you had Boone Farms and you had Mad Dog, that would be the other side of the tracks in the liquor store. Like.
You're like, nah, this is a joke, right? Where's the real?
Who put the Boone Farms next to the Mad Dog? Somebody's about to get robbed in here. Oh, you can't talk about Sunday songs without talking about New Orleans and not just the meters. Yeah, but New Orleans they had more of the jazzy type stuff as well. But I'm thinking like some of the other funk type stuff. Not that I discount New Orleans, but I think of them more on that jazzier type tip on things. But New Orleans has a great sound. Like you go to New Orleans and you can just go down to Bourbon Street to any of those bars on any given night when the bands are playing, and you walk in and some of those bands are so good you would think they have record labels and they're just like bands put together. That's how good the music is in New Orleans. Drinking a Sammy Adams Wicked Easy Lager. I have not had a Sam Adams at least sometime since last year before I left Cincinnati because we had Sam Adams there. But and I never Sam. Oh, I take that back. This past weekend when we were out to eat, the best thing they had on tap was actually Sam. That was a summer ale. It wasn't a Boston Lager, it was a summer ale, which I like the summer ale. So, but everything else was like macro at the place. I mean, so.
I've been the Oktoberfest pumpkin ales yet.
I've not had the pumpkin ales. I have not had the Oktoberfest beers, although on the last unboxing I did get some Oktoberfest beers. For those that didn't see that, I do have some Oktoberfest beers here. I'm not ready to crack them open as of yet. I'm just not ready for pumpkin yet. They had the pumpkin up there, like 8 or 9 different pumpkin ones that just wasn't feeling it. It's just too soon for me.
I say this every year, I think. I feel like it's like, you gotta wait till at least September or October.
Yeah.
You know, get a little bit of that chill in the air to make you feel the pumpkin vibe.
Yeah. Of course, BJ did bring up a good point. He's like, well, if you don't get them now, you may not be able to get them because by the time you go to get them, they might not be there.
That's true.
So
by
I think
by the time you're ready for the pumpkin beers, then you got to go for the Christmas sales.
Yeah. But is anybody ever going to write in their journal, oh, I really missed the pumpkin beers this year? Like, is anybody going to really be that sad? And
Right. Yeah.
Just roll right into the Christmas sales at 10, 11, 12%. But there was some Imperials I saw up there that looked pretty decent. I didn't want to get them yet. So, just not there. Vinyl and huge headphones. Yeah. The old big headphones there. When I was a kid, I used to go to the library, listen to music there, and you'd have the big, I don't know, brown tannish type headphones, like go over your head there. It's like huge headphones. Not like what we have nowadays. Trez in the house. What's up, homie?
What's up, Trez? Cheers.
Trez just got back from a little vacay too. You guys are having some fun, I bet, down there in the islands and stuff, and went out with him and a couple other guys. One of the other guys I know, they went down as a crew to like boys getaway down to the Caribbean or something. So
nice.
I think y'all went to the Caribbean. Pictures are looking pretty good. Definitely nice to get away with the crew. Hey Trez, JT, what up, JT? I guess you're probably working tonight. Guys, hold your horses, but I'm drinking an IPA by Hop Butcher. Normalizes signal, tastes like fine. You're drinking a Hop Butcher double IPA? Mister, just about every time I see you, you're drinking a lager? That's impressive. Nice. Did they open up yet? I don't know if Dave's still here or if you've seen it at JT. I know Dave actually showed a picture of the new Hop Butcher place there. I was curious if they opened up already in Chicago and if you guys have actually been over there as of yet. Yeah, trip to Nassau, went to be an island boy. Forget the pool boy, make me an island boy. You go to Caribbean.
I thought he was going to say something. I thought he was going to say something else. It meant something else different.
You better not. His missus might catch him.
What's that on? Is that
F-Boy Allen?
F-Boy Allen, yeah. F-Boy Allen on HBO Max.
There's no Mad Dog, known as Mad Dog for a reason, and no doubt. What is it? Somebody had posted a thing on Facebook like a few weeks ago, like they didn't know Mad Dog. They just thought the MD, they didn't know it was for like the, was it Morgan Davis, whatever the names are. Nah, they just thought it was always Mad Dog. Like, no, that's not the actual name. That's what people just call it, but it's actually named after the people.
Yeah. I think it might have been Gilbert that posted that.
Did he post that? It might have been Gilbert.
It might have been. I don't know. He has
crazy
posted
stuff.
some funny shit on there, but
always. Oh, it's Jason's bachelor party. I didn't know that. All right, cool. But definitely I have to tell him congrats. Then I didn't know you guys. I thought you guys just wanted a little break to get away.
You can do it in here.
Dave said not yet. Waiting for the license. So Hop Butcher's waiting for their license to get it all done there. It's going to be a cool little place. I mean, getting that stuff right off draft now. It's going to be nice. If you're in Chicago, you definitely want to, hopefully you'll get there when they're open. Mick T in the house. 2:15 here, Rod, and I'm robbing shit. What is going on, Mick? Yeah. Mick over in the UK. Posted a pic of their storefront on Lincoln Avenue at the Wing Beer Exchange on Facebook. Nice. Yeah, maybe it was your picture. I don't remember yours or Dave's that I saw. I think it was Dave's, but I'd be taking some pictures of it too. I haven't even talked to Hop Butcher in so long. It's joined a group. It's one of the most active beer porn groups on Facebook.
Yeah. But to join that one.
Yeah, I have to send you a thing for it. JT sent me an invite for that group there. So a lot of beer pictures. For people that wonder what beer porn is, that's all it is, really, beer pictures. So
yeah, you're right.
Beer porn. Although there probably is a category out there on Pornhub for beer porn.
Right. For the real deal.
Gilbert said he may have been the one to post that. Up and open yet, but having a sign up is a sure sign indeed. JT, thank you for the sub. There you go. Appreciate. It was my pick, Rod, so JT had it there. Okay.
Okay. Robin,
how's your kinky cheeks? Good old Mick. What up, Didi in the house? Cheers, homie. What time's the tea time tomorrow? It's always our first question.
Oh, 8:30, 8:25.
He gets up so early to play, but he gets it out.
Be my guess.
So, hey, Trez. And cheers, all in the Rajay house. And hey, Dr. Didi. So nice. So this past week, I gotta actually crack open a beer.
That's what I was just going to do. Like, you keep talking, I'm going to go ahead and start.
Well, you crack yours open right now because mine are still a little chilled. I'm letting them get warm a little bit.
No, I was thinking to myself, I was like, go ahead and keep talking. I'm going to go ahead and drink this beer while you're talking.
Well, I'll do a comment while you get that ready. So Didi has 7 o'clock for the tea time tomorrow. Oh, 7:48 a.m. 7:48, just right after, the grass is ready to go. Soft and firm. Thanks for checking in. Careful encouraging Mickle and stuff there, Robin. Just saying. It's 7:48. How long does it take you to play a round of golf, Didi? Like 18 holes? They're usually done like within an hour and a half. 2 hours. If you didn't have anybody slowing you down, what would your usual time be?
I'll say if he's playing the fourth minutes for the group in front of him, at least 4 hours.
And have you ever hit anybody with the golf ball to move them along? That's what I'm curious about. Because there's times I've thought about it when people were slowing the course. Like, what if we just launch a golf ball up there? Do they don't get the hint?
I've thought about it before a few times. I've never hit anybody, but I've been hit with one before.
Oh, have you?
Oh, yeah. The bad thing was, it was a guy that was in my group. I was walking down the side of the fairway, kind of more in the woods, sort of. I probably wasn't 30 yards in front of him, thinking I was in the clear, and all of a sudden, wham, hit me right in the side of the elbow from behind. I was like, what the? It's been when I was, in teenage years, probably.
Yeah, I had a guy we went golfing with for a company auto one time. He almost took his own head off. It was so funny. We had the block tees. I don't know if you ever seen them, like not the ball, but they're like wood block tees. And so he was hitting from. We were playing like the white tees there for the outing, but he hit it so low, it was on the ground, pretty much rolling almost, and it hit the back of the red tee up front, the ladies' tees, and it came straight back. He had to drop to the ground. He almost took his head off. Yeah. And they were like, you didn't clear the lady tees. You know what that means?
Yeah, that's right.
Erie's in the house. Cheers, Erie. My war zone buddy, part of the crew. So Erie Nicole Gaming, and we're trying to get Erie to put more stuff up on her channel, but she does have the channel there that you can check out too. I was say you just seen how he talks in my chat. Oh, I can only imagine how Mick will talk when he sees the buxom brunette. That's just open door for Mick to just run rampant on stuff. So, but Mick's always a good guy. I'm gonna start rocking the hat again, and he sent to me from over there in the UK last year. Was it last year? I think it was year before last, and maybe in the winter of last year. The little flat top. It's pretty cool. I like to wear it more when it's like colder weather. Hey, Erie. Erie Nicole Gaming. Hey there, Robin. I just cracked my hoppy red ale. 3 hours. I got hit in the mouth by my friend chipping at the tee. I told him the tee is for horns and for irons and long woods, not wedges. Oh, when your friends are taking you out. So what did you end up pouring?
So this is one that Mal and Chew left behind. It's from...
Yes, we got to talk about that too here.
What is that? Burr Oak Brewing. It's Clyde's Caramel Cream. Vanilla Hill. This has a king.
Clyde's Caramel Cream. Oh,
when you're gonna do that.
Cat in the Hat.
This one comes in at 5.7%.
A little bit on the lighter side.
So yeah,
definitely into the.
When they came by and I woke up and they'd already gone. They left that one here. So I was like, oh. Well, no, but this was still here. This was.
Like, if she's gonna start talking, she needs to come on cam.
I can't.
She's too busy. Peeling potatoes now.
Slicing my fingers.
Cutting her hands off like always.
Always, yeah. She's a little dangerous with a knife.
Sure, I got that. Cool. Make
So
sure
what
I
do
got-
you think of that one?
Yeah, Burr Oak Brewing Company in Columbia, Missouri. It smelled really good. To be honest with you, I haven't tasted it yet. It smells kind of sweet, a little bit of vanilla, kind of the caramel flavor for sure coming through.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's I assume it's a brown ale, but maybe it's a cream ale. Doesn't really say.
We say caramel cream ale, right? So,
Well, yeah, I guess caramel and vanilla ale is all it says, but caramel cream is what it says on the can. I don't know.
yeah.
It doesn't say cream ale, but I assume it's a cream ale.
It's leaving some lacing behind nicely.
Definitely smooth. That's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
It'd be one you could definitely crushable in the summer. Sitting out in the heat. Definitely pick up a little bit of maybe some of the brown sugars a little bit, kind of caramel flavoring in it. Some of the maybe a little bit of vanilla. I'm not sure if I would. Yeah, a little bit, I guess. Maybe as it warmer, it's still a little cool. I don't know. It's been sitting out for about 30 minutes though, so 35 minutes. It's nice though. I like it.
So you're digging on it right now.
Definitely good. Yeah. Appreciate it, Mal and Chew. Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah, so last week, Mal and Chew, if you're watching them on their channel, they've actually been doing, I guess you could say, touring across the country, hitting different spots to check out beer. So they ended up catching up with Todd and Shannon last week. So how was that?
It was nice, yeah. So it sounded like they both get COVID.
Yes.
Oh no!
Finger again.
I don't know.
You need to stop. Just put it with the pills on there before you cut your fingers off.
A little extra protein, in the potatoes.
I think they went on their trip for about a week and then had to go back home.
Yeah.
Oh, they both got COVID.
Yeah, so they had COVID and then they went back out to finish up. So they were coming from St. Louis on Sunday, and she reached out to Shannon on Sunday? Saturday or Sunday, and said, "Hey, we're coming through that way on Monday. If we wanted to meet up with him." So we was like, "Yeah, that'd be awesome." So they came by and then let them stay at the house because, like I said, they've been traveling, and they're still traveling. They're still out now, I think, on their way. Honestly, when they left here, I thought they were going to Ohio, but
Well, I think they just hit a few places in Indiana on the way to Ohio.
no. So they went up a little bit, maybe northern Indiana, I guess, somewhat. So I didn't know they were going up, or I'd have given them a few more ideas of where to go.
Yeah.
So we stopped here. We took them over to Louisville and went to Highwire and to West 6th.
Nice.
On the way back home, we stopped by Our Lady.
I was gonna say you didn't take them by Our Lady.
Yeah,
That's your usual spot.
They seem to enjoy that one quite a bit. So
Yeah.
I think her videos on those will be coming at some point.
Well, she's gonna have a lot of footage for sure. So
I think they've been staying at camps and staying in their SUV. Is that what they've been doing?
They're camping in their van.
Camping in their van or whatever. So we was like, we'll just stay in our guest room.
Yeah.
Stay the night. So
they're probably like, "Oh, we're at the Ritz now," compared to the back seat of the Jeep.
Like I said, they hung out Monday night, and of course I had to go to bed and get up and go to work in the morning. So I still stayed up till like 1.
I think Chew went to bed about 2:30. I think me and Mal stayed up talking to almost 5.
Was it almost 5? Yeah, so I was still on the ride before
Yeah.
started.
I can't imagine that happening.
I don't think they left until like almost 2 o'clock.
Yeah, I was asleep. So
that's when I saw the can was here.
Yeah.
But I saw it there this morning, but when I was leaving, but I didn't know they were leaving it for me.
Yeah.
And then I left a note and everything because they done left before she even got up, which was like after 2 probably.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize they stayed up that late though. So I was like, shit, I already went to work. I almost come home in time before they left.
No, that was cool. You guys provided
cool,
a warm bed for them. Got the chance to meet them, and it's just funny, like all the people that come together because of freaking the stuff we're doing on YouTube and everything.
I know.
Like,
I thought about that when they were here because I was like, oh, I met up with you and Eric and Joe.
Yeah.
All through YouTube, and I've met Tom the Beer Whisperer before, and not from YouTube,
Yeah.
And then, of course, them coming down and met them through you as well.
God, we laughed so hard.
But we had a good time, though. Yeah, it was. She was. Well, they were both funny, but she was freaking hilarious, though.
And now you both know what Shu looks like because he never comes on camera. So
the funny thing was, before they got here, we were like trying to figure out, like, how tall do you think each of them were? We couldn't decide.
Yeah.
I thought Shu was shorter than what he wanted to be in.
Yeah, he was as tall as you.
Yeah, maybe a little bit taller than me. I'm 6 footish right at, so he was at least.
Yeah. You think how tall you think he is? Like 6'1", 6'2"?
Yeah, maybe 6'1" at the most, I would think.
Yeah, around there.
Maybe.
That'd be my height then. Yeah.
But I was thinking, like, because I'd never seen anything but his hand, and we joked about that. I was like, show me your hand just so I know it's you. He started laughing. I was like, I didn't even, because I thought he was going to be a little guy. I thought he was going to be. I don't know why. I just thought he was going to be. Yeah.
Yeah. So they want to know.
Mm-hmm.
And at the bottom of it, it says "see back."
Yeah.
And then they left the beer behind. So.
Yeah, people were thrown off when he actually meets Shu. I know she told me that before. Like everybody's like, I guess they're all thinking he's like a little Asian guy or something like that. He's not. So.
No, I didn't think he was Asian.
Yeah. Well, just because of the name, people think that at times.
Oh,
it's
right.
like no, and I think the mustache throws people off too. So
yeah.
he put some work into that mustache.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yeah.
He had a good stash going, that's for sure.
And for those of you watching that haven't seen Shu, just think shades of Raleigh Fingers from back in the day with the mustache and everything.
Don't give away the mystery.
They don't know what he looks like. There is no Raleigh Fingers mustache. And it's only a few that watch baseball, so.
Yeah, but I think it was a bushier stash than even that.
Yeah, well, it probably is now since the last time I saw him. So yeah. You see, Mick says golf is a posh game to learn. To learn your son, the birds and the bees, just popping your balls in different holes. It's more of a soccer guy. Well, you're still putting balls in the net. I was actually right now on the TV. I didn't watch it earlier. I don't know if this game was early today or not, but Chelsea and Tottenham's playing on the replay right now. I'm all into the Premier League now. I got into them last year, kind of all on board and kind of watching the games now.
I was gonna say that's kind of been in your jam here lately, hasn't it?
Yeah. Apparently Chelsea and Tottenham almost got in a little altercation type thing. I just like the passion they have overseas for the game. It's just like, I mean, it can get overboard too. It can be like someone opened up some Mad Dog or Cisco in the crowd. Some of the people definitely go overboard on being crazy about it, but it definitely whips people up into a frenzy for sure.
I know we've yet to go over to Louisville to watch their team play.
Yeah, but it's not the same here. Like they got the DC team, and when we were in Cincinnati, we had FC. It's not the same as when you watch the European team.
No, I'm sure it's not. But I don't know. I've seen some of those guys watching them on TV, even like at a brewery, and they go pretty freaking nuts for it. Even though
they go crazy.
It's not like what Cincinnati used to be. I think they're now in the big.
They're big league in the FC.
Yeah.
Yes, that's why they're bad now. Because every time you go to the top level, it's like don't ever move the Cyclones out of the IHL because you guys rule that division. You'll go to the NHL, forget about it. You guys are bottom of the league. So yeah, Mick care to give us a limerick. Mick probably will if he's had anything to drink. Cheers. Mick said no, Robin. Mick's he's gonna not do a limerick. I love football. My son played for 14 years. He was a fart ninja, silent but deadly on defense. Fart ninja. That's like a dad joke there. What's up, Bri? Bri in the house. Cheers, Bri. Bri also over there in the UK. You working tonight, my friend? Doing good, and hopefully you are as well. Usually Bri also catches us on the gaming channel all the time too, which I feel like he has that like at work where people can hear it, like so entertaining on there. And it's like, watch, give him a second. EB's going to yell at somebody. Trip was good. Got to go back to Jersey, did a little beer shopping. That was after seeing Mom and celebrating her birthday and all that kind of stuff. So no, that was all good. And a few weeks ago was in Ocean City, Maryland, and that trip was good. So yeah, just all over the place recently. Sim. Hey, Brian. Yeah, Mal and Chew have gone carny. Yeah, they're all over doing this stuff.
No doubt.
But you know what's up?
I think he said they pulled out a map or went on the website or something and said Midwest breweries. So they tried to hit all the ones that were highlighted as the Midwest. So they went up to the Dakotas. I was like, Dakotas is considered Midwest. He's like, that's what I had on the map. I was like, okay.
I thought that was like the Plains now. I thought it was like Great Plains.
Fargo.
Yeah.
Oh, did they now?
Yeah.
To the Fargo.
They went to I think they went to Drecker for one of the breweries.
Wow. They put some miles on their car getting around for sure.
Came back through Kansas and Iowa and Missouri and.
Hey, we got Craig in the house. Kent Beer Reviews. Cheers, our friend.
Craig.
And now Shannon's going to. What, did you hear Shannon's voice go up when she heard Craig's name?
I kind of cracked a little bit. You notice that too?
I missed you.
So you can go put some makeup on real quick and then she's going to join.
I bet if Craig comes on, she'll come on. Her voice went a whole new level when she heard Craig was in there.
Smelling ear to ear now. Like ear.
Potatoes like some old winch.
These are right. I'm holding a bottle of my ale for you. When I get up that way, I'll handwrite the bod for you. No review. You can't take a review. I wouldn't. I'm not rough on reviews. If anything, if I give any criticism, it's always constructive. But I like checking out home brews from time to time. That reminds me, I haven't heard from Steven at Eclipse Brewing out in Washington in a while. Hopefully he's doing well. He sent me some pretty good ones when he was doing some home brewing there, which I'm sure he is still doing home brewing. I just haven't caught up with him. JT said he hung out with Malachu a couple months ago. Had a great time. Yeah, and JT is actually one that I actually hung out with from YouTube when I was in Chicago. So, yeah. Let me crack open my beer here. Still a little cooler than I wanted it to, but that'll work. It'll be all right.
While you're pouring that, I'm going to grab my next one and get it sitting out for now before I pop it open.
Usually this is one I would open up when Vanessa was here. She's not here yet.
Oh, is that a dragon's milk?
Yeah. It's just one. I actually forgot I had this in the fridge. It is always good when you go to your beer fridge and you find beers you forgot you had in there. That is like one of the greatest surprises. It's not as great as finding extra dollars in your shorts when you're washing clothes.
Right.
But it is nice when you go in there like, oh, I got an extra one of these. I did not realize that. So
especially when it's a beer that you know they can age, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So with this one here, I actually have the Dragon's Milk Reserve, and this is the 2022 Reserve 2 that I actually had there. So that was the blue label one. The third one should be coming out here, I believe, in August, by the way. So it should be already out or about to come out. If it's not August, it's September. But this is one where it's the bourbon barrel aged stout with the stoop waffle. So like the little Dutch cookies you get in the blue tin with the coffee, caramel, and cinnamon. So 11% ABV, purely a session ale. So, you know.
That one was pretty good. I like that one. I had that one when we were up in Holland. At the brewery, actually.
Yeah, it's like I went to go open up what I'm going to drink tonight. It's like, oh, wait a minute, I had one of those there. I forgot about that. So nice dark one.
I pulled out another one for my next one too. Didn't realize it was sold, but
it still smells so good. You always want to get that time to let the beer settle, let the aroma stir up a little bit, so you get that nice feel. Because before you actually taste, you want those aromas to actually get that taste buds kind of going. Hell, it's so tasty still. I do like the little Dutch cookies though.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Let's see here.
I do wish I would have tried the triple mash one now, but I had a hard time paying $7 for just a little pour of it.
Yeah. Sometimes you look at some of the beer prices, you're like, really? Then you're like, all right, take my money.
I'm never going to get that probably.
Exactly. That's because the thing, like, where else are you going to get this at?
That's what Shannon said. She's like, you should have got one. I'm like, I probably should have, but one, it was like 15%.
Yeah.
And two, I was like, I had a hard time paying $7 for a little sample size beer, you know?
A little Shooter McGavin shot.
Yeah, I think it was only 4 or 5 ounces and 4 ounces maybe.
You rarely regret not doing something. You rarely regret, not doing something, but you always regret. You know what I'm trying to fucking say.
Rarely regret doing something, but always regret not doing something.
Yeah, so like you're gonna.
She ain't even drinking either, folks. She's not even drinking.
She's just cutting potatoes.
That might be the problem.
Oh man. Did he say what up as well? Same old. Todd, who the hell are you talking to? Is that my idol? It is. She's off camera tonight, Dee Dee. She's just chilling on the side, peeling the potatoes.
Ooh, that one's good.
That was good, isn't it?
Ooh, what is that?
So, Bud's cream ale.
Is that the one they left?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's delicious.
But she's not dot off. She won't come on. So
I've been working all damn day, sweating.
Yeah, she just actually coming. Well, what was it, 9 o'clock-ish or so?
Yeah.
The door.
And I'm trying to make some potato soup
For tomorrow.
Yeah.
Check your messages, Robin, from Mick. Joey's in the house. What is up, Joey? Cheers, homie. Joey, Square Table Degenerates. You don't know Joey, check him out. He's always doing some crazy shit on his channel. He's always got some good stuff happening. But I don't know if you got any more interviews upcoming. And
Something.
Joey will actually have interviews with some of the former WWE wrestlers. And I'm kind of just found out something today that I can't believe Joey didn't tell me, and I can't believe you didn't tell me, Todd. Well, I know you don't watch wrestling as much, but you're in Indiana. And Mike Vanderjagt is now doing commentary on SmackDown.
Yeah, I can see like
he's doing the commentary with the other guy there. I was flipping through something this morning and it was a replay. And he's there at the table, like doing a breakdown and stuff because he is a big wrestling fan. Yeah, I didn't either.
That would be more like dang, his name just went out my head. He's got a Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee. I'm sorry, not Vanderjagt. Pat McAfee.
Okay, yeah.
What I meant. Yeah, Pat McAfee. Yeah,
I heard him say that on the radio the other day.
Yeah. I'm like, he's perfect for that though.
Oh yeah, he loves that wrestling stuff too.
Yeah. God, Mike Vanderjagt, I haven't seen that name in years.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know he was doing that.
Yeah.
That'd be more like he would do that. And then I remember now you say that. I remember him saying that.
He says, Joey, I'm a stoner. I'm higher than a dwarf on the ladder. No drinks on Thursday for me. That's all right. You can chill that way too.
Higher than a dwarf on a ladder.
My brother. I had D number 1 and number 2 last weekend on the Dragon's Milk. Oh, nice. So you had both of them. And for Craig, 2 was better than 1 for him. So he liked the second one as well, which is the one I'm having. I still have the first one for the review I got to put out.
Which one was that one? That was what was the first one?
I got to figure out my phone in front of me to pull up my Untap.
I guess I could do it. I got it sitting right here.
Oops. Number 1 was the Rye Ace Stout with cinnamon, toasted chilies, and vanilla.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stroopwafel one was pretty good. I probably agree with Greg on that one. That one probably was. Although the other one was pretty decent too. But
yeah, well, I like rye, so for me, I like that one. That one was 11.8% ABV, so a little more of a bigger beer. But this one I like. Like I said, I've always been a fan since I was a kid of the Dutch cookie tins. So The fact that it's kind of using that same flavor in here sticks with me. It's just about time now for the Yingling Hershey Porter to be out again, if it's not anywhere.
Then I had, while I was there, I did have the, it was Dragon's Milk Maple Cinnamon.
Oh, that sounds tasty.
Which was pretty good. I gave it a 4.25.
Can we get that beer?
Nice.
This one come from Missouri. It was somewhere in Missouri. Columbia.
Big cocktail.
Oh, Wayne's in the house. Cheers, Wayne. Wayne, make sure you check him out as well. He's got the great beer stuff happening, not just on YouTube, but also on his podcast that he has as well. And throwing one or more back Thursday. Cheers, fellas. I hear you there. This is just my first one I'm still going through. Had some grandpa's breath in the pipe. Oh, so I'm higher than a kite in the basement. So he's taking the alternative route tonight, too. Lakeshore Fog Hazy Juice IPA from Southern Tier. I've seen the Lakeshore Fog, but I have not had that one. Can't go wrong with Southern Tier for the most part. They're usually pretty solid.
Yeah, they are good. I have had that one, I believe.
Southern Tier out of New York. New York. So what weird trivia things do we have to go tonight? Like,
yeah, I've had that one.
What questions can we come up with there? Drinking a Buy Me Pale Ale. Nice. So I was thinking...
Shane's probably going to
Huh?
I'm gonna make trivia questions.
Not trivia.
Okay, not
Questions
bad, not the best, does the job. Well, that's what matters. Well, usually we end up trying to think movies, music.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've done those lately. We've done candy.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, Ithaca in a couple of weeks. Southern Tier. Yeah, Ithaca Brewing.
Oh, nice.
Flower Power. That's one of the first ones that got me into it. So hopefully you'll check out Ithaca when you're up there as well. I'm sure they got some decent breweries around that area.
Shannon's hollering at you.
Big chunks of potatoes in your soup or little chunks? Or do you like potato soup?
Potato soup's all right. Probably bigger chunks.
Yeah, me too.
Bigger chunks.
Yeah.
Sit there like it's a chowder, you know.
Chowder.
Chowder. Like you get big chunks of clam. Like you hate when it's not big chunks. But I was gonna say, so we got football. We've got football starting out in
So is it
a couple weeks, and then the NFL in 3.
Is it next week they start?
Next week, no, 2 weeks college starts.
Well, I know
3 weeks NFL starts.
I was thinking next week starts is what they consider week 0 for college or whatever. Because I know Indiana's first game is September 2nd, which is a Friday.
Yeah, the first game is actually West Virginia versus Pitt. They're going to be kicking off the season. So, like, game day is going to be there on is it next week for the 25th?
I was thinking it was next week.
I was thinking it was. I looked at it earlier.
I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong.
I could be wrong.
It's first time for everything.
True.
Said Jesus.
Doesn't happen often, but yeah, it
That's
can
right.
happen.
Like making an onion soup.
No, September 1st. September 1st is the first game, so we're still 2 weeks away.
Oh,
So
it
that
is.
yeah.
That Thursday.
So this year the NFL will start on the 8th. So 3 weeks away.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that's when they started, but I was thinking it was just a handful of games next week. It's called like week 0 or whatever. Why they call it week 0, I have no idea. But
Yeah.
then I
Oh,
thought
JT.
everybody started the following week or whatever.
Oh, nice. JT, one of his friends, lives right behind Ithaca Beer Company. I'd be spending some money there if I was there. Got Mal's in the house. Cheers, Mal and Chew. I'm sure Chew's lurking around. We were just talking about your visit with Todd and Shannon. Big chunks and bacon, Gilbert said.
Haven't heard already.
Gilbert said put some bacon in that potato soup.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, she does.
Big chunks.
And bacon.
Jeff's in the house. Cheers, Jeff. Good to see you, my friend. Hopefully you're doing well. Hello, Mallory. Just need to study for my fantasy football draft Saturday. Maybe a little.
Yeah, ours is not this weekend, but the next weekend.
Yeah, they had the ESPN big fantasy special I saw earlier this week, I guess.
Yeah, I think it was like 3 hours, and I was like, watch the first round. I was like, nah, I'm out. I don't want to watch this for the next.
Everybody knows it's about getting a kicker by the 3rd round. Just saying. Better have a good kicker.
And defense. Kicker for first pick. Defense.
So I was going to say, with the NFL starting up like in 3 weeks, although it's a little early for the NFL type things, maybe start with questions, comparison questions, kind of taking a little bit from what JV was doing last night. And I would say, who would you consider to be the better quarterback of the quarterbacks that didn't win a Super Bowl?
That have or haven't?
That the quarterbacks that didn't win a Super Bowl. We'll start off with easy. Well, I say an easy one, but it's not really an easy one. We start off with Dan Marino or Warren Moon.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Who do you think is the better quarterback out of those two that did not win a Super Bowl? And I'll put it in the chat so people can actually vote while you're thinking.
I would have to probably go Marino.
You think so?
I'd like to know what their actual records were, career records. Not Warren Moon in the Canadian, because he was in the Canadian League first, right?
Yeah, he set records. He won a Grey Cup in the Canadian League.
So, I mean, I don't know if you take overall, like the overall count in the Canadian League or not. If we're just talking NFL, I think it's Marino, but I think if you think overall, it'd be hard not to say.
If it was overall, if they had all the stats for Warren Moon, he'd be way up there.
Right. That's what I mean. If you took all of it, then I would have to say Warren Moon. But if it's just the NFL, I would have to say Dan Marino, I think.
Let's see.
I really have nothing to back either one of the.
I put that poll out there if people want to respond to it, but
that's a tough one. That's a good question.
Here's the thing: like you always say, like Dan Marino, but I mean, Dan Marino did get his team to the Super Bowl for rookie year. He was on the team, but then he never got back.
Right.
And they were in the running for stuff. I mean, they've had the playoff wins and they were in different championships, but so was Warren Moon in them as well. So Warren Moon never got to the Super Bowl, but I don't know if he always had enough of the talent around him to actually do so.
Did the teams with Marino went to the Super Bowl, right? With Clayton and Duper?
He went his rookie year. I don't think Clayton and Duper. I don't know if they were there at that time.
Oh, okay. Maybe not.
They came later.
That's a good question. That's a very good comparison right there.
I mean, it's just, like I said, the one if Moon wouldn't have been having to go to the Canadian Football League first, he ended up throwing, I think, like 60+ thousand yards in the NFL, but he threw like 20 or 30,000 in the Canadian League. So he would have been definitely up there more.
I got one in mind too.
Let me see here.
If you feed him while he was
yeah.
I forgot earlier.
Hey, Mallory from JT. Because I need to study for my. Oh, yeah, we did that one already. Wayne and James. Number one pick in my league. Who do I pick? Oh, that's pressure right there.
You got to take Jonathan Taylor.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched NFL in a while, so.
Having the number one pick this year is probably the easiest pick in the whole draft, in my opinion.
You think? You mean you're putting a lot of the number one pick, because then you're not picking to the end of the round next time usually.
I don't know what my number one pick. I don't know
it
what
was a snake draft.
Position is yet, so I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't find out until like an hour before the draft starts.
And one injury to that top player. I mean.
Oh yeah.
You're putting a lot into it.
That's where I'm always with Christian McCaffrey. I'm like,
yeah, he's still up there, ain't he? But he got to stay healthy.
Jonathan Taylor's most drafted number 1, McCaffrey 2.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys that can either win you the league or he can screw you over big time because he's been hurt. He's only played like 6 games in the last 2 years.
Yeah, and he's got Mayfield as a quarterback now too, possibly. So
yeah, but if I get the second pick, I'm still taking McCaffrey. I traded for McCaffrey last year while he was hurt, thinking he was going to come back. I was like, okay. He played like another game, and then he was out again. I was like, yeah, there goes my season because I pretty much traded everybody on my team to get him.
Well, what about that guy with the Bengals?
Mixon,
yeah. Where's he falling in? Because he's getting the carries for sure. At least last year, from numbers I've seen, he was getting a lot of carries.
He's kind of been rated like a mid first round pick in like a 10 or 12 team league.
I'm just thinking because they're a younger team, so you want a younger player if you're going that high.
Well, they beefed up the offensive line. He had that good of a year last year with a terrible offensive line.
Yeah.
And then they brought in, I think, 3 new offensive linemen. So they had to definitely beef up the line for sure.
Dan Marino, Dan Faust. Dan Faust is another one that could be asked up there too. That never got to the big game, but definitely had the numbers. I just wonder with Marino if it's more kind of a lure or a thing about him that gives him a little bit more of a push. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like...
That's true. Yeah.
You look inside some of the numbers and stuff, it's kind of like, But...
What were their... Do you have what their totals were? Like throwing yards, touchdowns? Just NFL only? Does it break Warren Moon down for that? Or
let me see.
I was just kind of curious to see what the comparison would be. Touchdowns and interceptions thrown and yardage. And I guess maybe the wins too, win percentage.
Oh, wow. There's actually a comparison page, Dan Marino versus Warren Moon.
Oh, nice.
Oh, no, maybe you can put other people here, maybe. That's what it was.
Yeah.
But, gotta get the height of 6'3", 6'4", and 218 to 224. Coming to the ring right now.
In this corner?
Yeah. Awards and honors. Wow, Moon went into the Hall of Fame in 2006. Marino went in 2005. Dan Marino was a number 13 pick overall. Moon was number 1. 1990 for MVP for Moon, 1984 for Marino. So each have 1 MVP. Both have 9 Pro Bowls. Marino has 3 first team All Pros. Moon has 1. And Marino has 4 second team. Moon has none there. Passing leader, touchdown leader. Moon has 1 year. Marino has 3. Passing yards leader, Moon has 2, Marino has 5. Quarterback rating leader, Marino won 1 year at 84 for the season. Offensive player of the year, Marino was 84, Moon was in 90. Moon 208 games, Marino 242. Let's see here.
Yeah, but how many did he play in Canada, though? I wonder.
Yeah, he played like 3 or 4 seasons in Canada.
Yeah, so, I mean, that'd be...
Passing attempts. No, sorry. Completion percentage. Warren Moon, 58.4. Dan Marino, 59.4.
Hey.
Passing yards. Marino, 61, 361. Moon, 49, 325. Marino's got him definitely on touchdowns, 420 to 291.
Oh, wow. But he played. What?
Yeah. So he played like the number of seasons more. Yeah. And then, but the thing is, like Marino played a lot longer in NFL, Interception-wise, Moon was 233, Marino was 252. And Marino,
okay, yeah.
but Marino played longer. Interception percentage 3.4 to 3, so that favors Marino. Marino just, he put out more stuff when you go inside the numbers.
Yeah. I would say that's why I said it was like talking NFL career, probably Marino, but overall, probably Moon numbers wise.
Yeah, you put like another 20 or 30 on there with Moon, but like 86.4 to 80.9 for quarterback rating through the career. Moon had a higher completion percentage in the playoffs. Yeah. And he had a better quarterback rating in the playoffs, 84.9 versus 77. So he handled the playoffs better. Although, like I said, neither one won the big game, and Marino did get to the big game. So kind of just interesting little matchup there. So let's see what else we got here. Marino, we had that there. Go Pack Go. That's all Gilbert cares about. ProFootballReference.com. There you go. Get the stats. 5 Grey Cups in 5 years. So, you look at the Canadian League, what he did there, too. So, he's up there for at least 5 seasons. It's all about the Ace Ventura movie. Go to NFL Football Reference for the numbers, fellas. Yeah, well, this one site is actually pretty cool. This is NFLcomparisons.com, where you can compare different players, which is pretty cool. So, that's a new site to check out. But what were you going to say on yours?
I was gonna say, and I have no idea what the numbers are or anything. Just kind of curiosity, because Barry Sanders and Bo Jackson.
Comparison, or who was the better one? I didn't get the Super Bowl.
Who would you think? Yeah.
Well, we'll go ahead and end the one poll. We have Marino winning that poll, so we're saying.
Of course, I know Jackson's career got cut short, but Barry Sanders retired early, so.
Better running back that didn't make it to Super Bowl. Hope NFL doesn't give me a cease and desist for using Super Bowl.
Yeah, right.
That's a good one, though, Todd. Who do you think it may be? Barry Sanders or Bo Jackson? That's better running back that didn't make it Super Bowl.
Because I don't know how long each of their careers were. Because I know Barry Sanders quit, 4 years in or something like that? Retired or whatever?
Sanders went for
5 years maybe?
No, it was 6 or 7, I think.
Was it that long?
Because Jim Brown went for 6, and he was somewhere around there. So it was either 6 or 7 that he played. Yeah.
And what Bo Jackson was?
He was 4 or 5.
Yes, that was.
Because the problem with Bo Jackson is that he couldn't go in the Hall of Fame because his season didn't go long enough.
Right.
But they used to say that about Terrell Davis, and Terrell Davis is now being looked at too. It's all about Rodgers and fuck the rest. I thought you were all about Jordan Love now. Now you're back on the Rodgers bandwagon. You were all about give Jordan his time. Give Jordan his time. Now it says Aaron's staying. You're like, oh yeah, Aaron, go Aaron. I never doubted him. Sanders all day long, Didi said. So he's on the Sanders. Yes, I mean Sanders is.
I would probably select Barry Sanders also, but I don't know. I mean, that's a tough one though.
I think of the players that didn't get there for the running back. You think of between those two. I mean, Sanders is always going to be the top running back anyway in that top category.
Yeah.
But for those that got to see Bo in his prime, he was next level. He was, but you know, also next level too back there was Eric Dickerson. He was also kind of forgotten about, you know.
Oh, yeah.
He was the first one to go 2000 since OJ did it. So
he's the only reason I became a Colts fan.
Yeah.
When he came to Indianapolis, I was like, because I used to like Cincinnati. For some reason, I always liked Eric Dickerson back then.
Yeah.
Indy, and I was like, I still follow the Bengals, but I'm not Indianapolis is my team.
Even though he ran always kind of standing straight up, how did he not get level? He was just that good. You just couldn't get your hands on him. He would just run straight up and out of his head down, really. But you think somebody would have got a clean shot on him. No Lynn Dickey love, son. I'm only putting 2 names up. I didn't put Lynn Dickey in there for anything. No doubts. Yeah, I remember some of the old posts about Aaron. He could go ahead and leave. Dickey was a solid quarterback. But that Boz Bulldogs by Bo can never be repeated. No, that was like, that was one of the if you do a spotlight show of Monday Night Football's greatest moments, that's like a top 3 at least. But I have like probably the top 2. Actually, I'd say the top 3 for me probably.
Just for Monday night games?
Yeah, just for Monday night games. One would be the Tony Dorsett 99-yard run when he only had 10 players even on the field. When he broke down against the Vikings.
Yeah.
Then the other one would be Bo running over
Bosworth.
And then the other one would be the game that Brett Favre put up after his dad died. Those are like classic, like stop the press moments that you saw on Monday Night Football.
That'd be
that stand out for me. Now there's one that stands out for me too. That's really a bad one, which was when Napoleon McCallum broke his ankle. That was like one of the worst hits I've ever seen. And even when LT hit Theismann, that was another one. Napoleon McCallum, the Oakland Raiders running back.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like leg just like it's like, and they were like, don't go back. Don't stop showing reverse angles. We don't need to see it anymore.
Right? Yeah, we don't. Yeah, one time.
You see it one time. I don't care where you're at. It's bad.
You're right. Yeah, it still hurts either way you go. One angle's just as bad as the other.
Yeah. But those two. I mean, Bo is one of those players, football and baseball, that has the talent to be Hall of Fame for each, but won't get into either. He was like one of those talents that comes along like once every 40, 50, 60 years or whatever. It's like you don't see that every day.
Kind of makes me think of another comparison or question.
Which one you got there? Well, let's see here. Right now,
I'll remember that one.
Right now, it's pretty much Barry Sanders in a sweep at 100%. So.
Oh wow! Yeah.
Yeah, LT knew when he hit like Theismann, because he was one of the first ones calling for help.
Yeah, he was the first one to start waving like going over.
The funny thing is, I watched a special about LT years ago, and they were talking to different players around the league, and Joe Theismann was doing an interview. This was before Joe Theismann got hurt by LT, and they were talking about having to play the Giants and how hard it was to actually play against LT. Like they've had to call timeouts just because they couldn't find where LT was on the field, because he would get on the edge and get so low you couldn't see him, and they didn't know where he was. So they would call a timeout to find out where he was out there. And it's just kind of funny that he came back to be the one to take Joe Theismann out of the game.
Right.
Bo versus the Boz, the greatest play ever on Monday Night Football. Trent said it was just like that was you like run that back again. Let me see what just happened there. That was one of those ones you hit replay on.
Probably what even made that even better was Bosworth was supposed to be the guy, like, super stud guy that was
out of Oklahoma.
Really lived up to the hype, really.
Yeah. Well, after that hit, he was done. It was just yeah.
I think that's what also made that too, was it had what couldn't happen to a better person. At all.
It was like Rocky. You ain't so bad. You ain't so tough. Telling Mr. T. Telling Clubber Lang. Sanders can never run on Gravedigger Gilbert Brown. Just have to add that. Not many people could run on Gilbert Brown. Talking about a guy that shut down the middle, one-man wrecking crew. And the Brett Favre game was for Seb, was on top. Yeah, I mean, it was just like, and he went out there and played a phenomenal game after that. But what was the one that you were saying again? I don't think anybody's gonna really go Bo too much on this one.
No, didn't sound like it. This is sort of a baseball or football / baseball. Who do you think was the better baseball player, Bo Jackson or Deion Sanders?
Oh, that's got to be Bo.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
although
Dion was actually had a pretty decent career too, though, in baseball. Not to the level of Bo Jackson for sure, though.
Yeah, but I mean, when his first game, like he returned a punt for the Falcons. After the game, took a helicopter to the Reds game and hit a home run in that game too, and it was like that'll be something that'll never happen for anybody again. But I think like when he played baseball, every time I've seen him, like his average was around like 240 or something. Like he was never like a strong enough hitter. Now fielder, he was a great fielder, but as far as a hitter, he wasn't bringing like Bo was bringing it.
Still bases and defense mostly.
Yeah, and let's face it, Bo was breaking bats over his knee, and guys were getting hurt trying to do that
shit. Have you ever seen the 30 for 30, the Bo Jackson?
Oh, Bo, yeah.
Bo, no, yeah, that one's so good.
I mean, he came back with the replaced hip and still was in there for a year or two. So
yeah.
Let's see, Joe played for the Argos back in the 70s. Sanders had no defense, and he still put up crazy numbers. But you mean no offense, as far as like offensive line. His line was mediocre at best, right? But he would find holes, and you'd be surprised the stuff he would get through. See what that one is. 30th anniversary, Imperial Stout. Who's that from?
Bell's.
Oh, it is Bell's. Which
so
is it Two-Hearted?
I didn't realize it was that old, but it was packaged on 8/27/15.
Oh. Was that a find you came across? You're like,
no, I had on my fridge, so I put it in the fridge. I was like, I need to drink this because I didn't realize it was that old. And then I looked at it tonight and I was like, oh shit, I should have drank that a while back. Yeah. But it's 11%, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, Bo and Dion were definitely blessed. Yeah, as I said, when he came from the Falcons game in a helicopter to get there after doing a punt return in that game and then hit a home run. That was one of my favorite players. I mean, prime time. I mean, never liked the Cowboys, but when he went to the Cowboys, I got a Sanders jersey from going to the Cowboys. So it was just like, and people would ask, like, oh, you're a Cowboys fan. Like, no, I'm really not. Dion's the man, it's just like, I was a big Dion fan.
He's down there. Who's he coaching down in Florida now? Florida Atlantic or something?
No, he's coaching Jackson State. He's doing HBCU. And he's actually just pulled like
the number one player in the country.
Came there. And a few others are starting to do it now. Yeah. And Nick Saban's like, Nick Saban tried to throw his name out there. Like, Nick, you better pull that back in, son. Like,
right. It's not illegal now. You just pay him whatever you want if that's what you're doing.
If there's a college coach that's not allowed to cry about anything, it'd be freaking Nick Saban.
Oh, yeah. Sure. He's mad because he didn't get him, so he wanted to try to throw him under the bus. Is all he was doing.
He's like, it's got to be some type of tricks they're doing or something. I don't really know.
Why is he choosing that place over Alabama? How much money are you giving him? Come on, man.
Oh, yeah, off the offense. And Bo Jackson was better at baseball for sure. Yeah, Bo was a beast in baseball. And Bo was better at Tecmo Bowl. Let's face it. Like,
well, that's like Bo Jackson or Barry Sanders and Tecmo Bowl. Because both of them.
Both were tough, but I think Bo was tougher than Barry was. I think he got more respect in that game than Barry even did.
Well, Jackson was faster because you could run around the whole quarter and just run out the quarter and never get back. And to score a touchdown.
Bo was great, but Barry went against some great lines with zero team. Yeah. But there was years with the Raiders, and like I said, Bo wasn't there as long, but when he played there, they weren't as great. But we're looking at the Stars, they got leveled on a punt return. The play's not over to the whistle was blowing. That shit was fun. Took the kid out in left field or right field playing baseball. Like, the ball's out there.
That's an 8-year-old kid out in right field that's just playing with the flowers and looking up at the planes. And...
Yeah. Alex the Beer Master in the house. Cheers, my friend. Yeah, I got the chance to, I had a little bit of time when I was up there, so I hung out with BJ for a second and grabbed some beers over at Joe Canals. He told me you guys got together on Sunday. Well, we were talking Saturday, but you were getting together on Sunday to do some stuff on the videos too. So, y'all know Alex the Beer Master. Make sure to check out Alex. great fun videos. And Fridays he does Food Fridays, so they do beer paired with something. Yeah, it was cool. It was definitely cool. So my second time, I think, meeting BJ now. So we had a blast. Good time. He got some good beers in there too. So was able to come back with a little bunch of dandies. Here's a question for you, since we're on the talking about some of these other players. We talked about Dion. From a defensive perspective, who is more? I know what my answer wants to be, but it's tough. Who is more influential from a defensive perspective, LT or Deion Sanders? You got two people that shut down parts of the field at different times.
I would almost. Gosh, I don't know. Because this doesn't show up in the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So Klein would lock down the other team's best wide receiver
Mm-hmm.
and would force the quarterback to look other ways. So that guy was never. So he may never even got an interception because of either deflection or whatever, because he was just that good defensively.
Mm-hmm.
So what I meant by that was, just for that reason alone, that wouldn't show up in the stat line. You'd be like, oh, Deion Sanders, he didn't do nothing this game.
Yeah.
But if you actually saw him play, saw the game, you'd be like, okay, so he held the best player on the best receiver to like 10 yards or no yards or whatever, you know what I mean? But LT, on the other hand, could do the same exact thing, but he would put up the numbers with sacks and everything. So it's like,
right.
And fumbles or whatever. Like, so I don't know. That's a good one.
I mean, with LT, it was like you didn't really run at his side if you didn't have to. But with DI, you didn't throw to his side if you didn't have to.
But the one thing that might give Deion the edge is he did have he could punt return. He had the returnability of.
Yeah, I mean he's in that thing, but I'm just thinking of as a defensive perspective.
Well, yeah,
if you're just on the defense, I mean, if you go all around, it's kind of like, oh, he's too versatile of a weapon in that regard.
Right.
Yeah.
Just defensive only. I feel like you would say LT.
I think I would say. I mean, LT is one of my favorites, and I got one of the autographed helmets here because that's who I mean, when I played football, that's who I was modeling after. Was thinking of like LT, and I mean, you had kids learning the strip sack. That didn't happen before LT. That came with LT being out in the league.
I don't know that. You can't go wrong with either answer, honestly. But
yeah,
that's a good question. I don't know.
I mean, both brought their own dangers when you went against them in the game. So it was kind of like, you could run the Deion side because he wasn't going to tackle you.
Right.
But you weren't going to throw to his side. Now, LT, you didn't run or sometimes even throw to his side because he would still play that as well.
Yeah. I might give the slight edge to LT.
Yeah.
Just defensive only now, yeah.
Yeah, just defensive only.
Yeah. Overall, though, I mean, I don't think you'd have to go Deion just because of his, like I said, his punt return.
Yeah. Let's see. Just like Leroy Butler finally got in the hall. Yeah, Leroy deserved to get in there. He was a beast back then.
Yeah, he was good.
It was definitely awesome, my friend. LT chased down a wide receiver. That says it all. Yeah, he would chase down. So yeah. LT didn't quit till the whistle was there. LT for sure. Dion never met a tackle he liked. No, but he didn't have to tackle either because people would stay away from him because he was just that bad of a DB. LT Trez says too. Yeah, I mean it's hard.
I think LT for sure. I mean, I say for sure, but I think LT slight edge for me.
Yeah. He was a beast. Speaking of beast, I'm about to crack open a beast here. So this one, I don't know if you got these there yet or not. Utopias. Barrel A's were all waxed out. You guys have them there now? You should, because you guys get everything else, like the 120s and everything.
I feel like I had that one back at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. So I had this one there too. I'm going to crack open.
Unless it came out again this year.
Well, it comes out, I guess it comes out every year now.
Oh, okay. So maybe that's what it was then. I got one.
I got these this year earlier. See that? So much ABV, like the head just fizzes right out with that alcohol. Gilbert said Reggie White should be the third option. Yeah, Reggie White. So I had a thing for Reggie White too. So in the lore of defensive linemen, who would you think would be the more fiercest and stronger of the two? The two defensive linemen you would fear the most, Reggie White or Joe Green? I mean, Joe Green was Joe Green, but they had to put a mean in his name because that's how bad he was on the football field.
Yeah, see, I can't really say. I only know Mean Joe Green just from
the Coke commercial.
Kid running down the tunnel. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't really remember. Hell, I don't even know if I was old enough to even watch him play. Honestly, I probably wasn't.
I was a kid, but I tell you, Mean Joe Green was a bastard of a player.
I can't really give a shake on that one, but
you talk about guys that fought in the trenches, and you felt at the end of the day when you went against them, he was that type of player to put it on you. Now, Reggie was no slouch. I mean, I saw Reggie with the Eagles and then later with the Packers, and he was always a beast too. But
that would be a tough one, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I can go with Reggie White just because I know him more. I know his game more than Mean Joe. It would be hard to. I don't know, man. Jeez, that is a tough one.
I mean, some players you feel like they just play like angry, and that's how Joe was. Joe was just one of those players that was just like Reggie. You know, he would play tough and he played hard, but you know, at the end of the day, like, oh, he's a preacher. He can't be that bad of a guy, right? Like Joe Green was just like. Felt like he was a truck driver that just jumped in a football outfit type thing. Like he'd beat you down.
Well, that was kind of the whole thing of that commercial, right?
Yeah, because his toughness and everything. Yeah. They kind of show he had a softer side type thing.
Yeah. Wow. Like what? So can you do like a numbers comparison with those two?
Yeah, I can put that in here. Let me take a look here. Get this real quick. All right, so on a great night, hit them straight and drink them off them right, my brother. Diddy says mean as well. That's who he thinks. LT made the whole defense look good. Yeah, he did, but he had some people there. I mean, Carson was no slouch either. He had some players back there with him.
Mm-hmm.
The only passer that's nastier than mean was Buckets. Buckets is another one that was come at you full energy and rip your head off. Green's heyday was the early 70s when the Steelers were still building. By the time they were won Super Bowl, he was not the same player. No, but he was still a beast. I mean, he was an anchor in that steel curtain. Which, growing up as a kid, I thought the steel curtain was kind of the defense. Not realizing, I found out later on, the steel curtain was really supposed to be just a defensive line. And
right.
Like Lambert and Hammond them all kind of jumped onto it type thing, but it wasn't really them. It was really that line they had up front. Let me see here. The comparison. So let's do anything here. NFL comparisons. We're gonna put the thing in. Get off my ad screen. Everything's got an ad. I remember a day when the internet was free.
You're right.
Let me see here.
I'm just more curious to see what the numbers would be against with those two.
They actually don't have Joe Green in here.
What?
Or Reggie White. They kind of have, this thing is more offensive type players. Let me see if I can do something here real quick, actually. Reggie.
I just more out of curiosity, just see what the numbers were compared to those two. Just to see what the.
Pro Reference has Reggie White here. Let's see. See if I get a Joe Green up here too.
Yeah, he got 15 monitors. Surely you can pull them both up at one time.
Well, I just did a switch on stuff. I put my desktop that I'm using right now, so I don't have a second monitor now. But this one I do have two monitors on. So
I was just kidding anyway, but sort of.
When you start doing it, it's nice. Just get used to it.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
So what we see here, Joe Green. See, I like how they had on the comparison type thing. Okay. See the awards. Joe Green, 7 awards, and Reggie 11. Reggie was 87 and 98 Defensive Player of the Year. Joe Green, 72 and 74. Reggie, 13 Pro Bowls. Joe, 10. Reggie, 8 first team. Joe, 4. Let's see what else he got here. Reggie actually had 18 playoff games started to Joe having 17. Sacks in 1960. Unofficial says Reggie had. Where's it at? Well, this is his career for Joe Green, 77 and a half. Oh, Reggie has 196.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How many total games played?
198, it says. Oh, I'm sorry, 198, not 196. But playing games-wise, Reggie had a longer career. Reggie was 232. And Joe was 181.
Of course, you got to think, too, though, when Joe Green played those 12 games a year.
Yeah, 12. Or then, he might have been. He was doing something. I think he was in there when they did 14 a couple years, but.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But imagine you get a defense, and on one side you had Joe Green, the other side you had Reggie White. You would wreak some havoc. Two players like that.
Oh, yeah. I always thought, I remember as a kid, collecting cards, football cards, and like, oh, it's a 1,000-yard rusher.
Yeah.
Then as you start figuring it up, you're like, well, that's not even 100 yards a game. But then
now it's not. Now it doesn't really matter like that. Yeah,
no,
like nothing.
Now it's 65 yards a game to get 1,000 yards or whatever. But you look back, you're like, okay, 1,000 yards when it was a 12-game schedule. Like, okay, that's a pretty good year. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, look at it now. Like, if you're not doing 2,000 yards, you're not really being adjusted to the time frame because you should be at 2,000 at this point.
Right, or at least.
Somewhere close to 1,800 or something. Definitely more than when they were doing 100 on 12.
They're at least what now? Yeah, so 1,000 yards in 12 games is probably what 80 yards a game.
Yeah.
So you should at least average that. Have an average of 80 something yards a game times 17, whatever that would be.
Right.
1,500 yards or more. So you should at least have 1,500 you can be considered.
They would both get nothing but pumped. Yeah, they both would. It was funny. One of the people I talk about sometimes that actually I'd probably say was nastier than either one of these two would be Deacon Jones back when he played for the Rams, when him and Olsen and played on the line. And they said if they had been counting sacks when Deacon Jones was playing, he'd probably be the sack leader. Because he used to wreck people, but he used to have a head slap move where he would slap the hell out of the person across from him on the helmet, and their ears would start ringing. And it got banned where he couldn't do that after a number of years and stuff. But I mean, he said they asked him one time, it was back in the late 90s, early 2000s, like if he could play in the league today, he's like, no, you couldn't afford me. I'd be fine, like so much I'd be fine out of the league.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because the game today is nothing like it was back. Like back then, he was like punching, kicking, doing all kinds of stuff. You know, you were in the bottom of that pile. It wasn't a good spot to be at. Nowadays, you don't have that type of stuff in football. Great comparison. Both guys would put O-lines on their backs with head slaps. Yeah. And they got that. The head slap would go back to Deacon. Joe's clean to wear sacks. There you go. Yeah. He was evil. He was a beast. Deacon Jones was a beast. Like, sure your name's Deacon? Because deacons are usually nice at the church. You don't seem to be a deacon. Oh yeah, I mean he was brutal. You see some of the old footage of Deacon Jones. He was a beast. But you know what? Like when I was a kid growing up, I thought like one of the best interiors a football team had, the Dallas Cowboys. Again, was never really a huge Cowboys fan. I liked them a few. I like when Dorsett was there, Drew Pearson, back in the day, Staubach. But Randy White and Harvey Martin, those two anchored that defensive line back in the 70s in the middle. You just weren't running up in the middle on those guys. They were just shutting you down and taking you out. I mean, the Cowboys had a nasty defense for a while. Hollywood Henderson, before he got taken out with all the coke and drugs and stuff like that. And they had some players. Cliff Harris was their safety. Cliff Harris was a beast. Like, he was one of those players, too, that can ball hawk on you. And I always thought they had one of the craziest players ever, like Billy Bates back in the day in the 80s. Like, that guy would hit anything. Like, if you told him the brick wall had the football, he was hitting the brick wall. Like, there's something wrong with that dude. There's something wrong with him.
He threw loose for sure.
He might have been the original. He might have been the original inspiration for Waterboy, because that guy just put it all out there. Like, oh man. Yeah, well, apparently there is still sexual assault. He can still get a job with the Browns, so you know.
Yeah.
But they were asking, like, I guess Deshaun Watson has a $250 million contract. They're like, well, what's $5 million? You know, because yeah, he's right. Like, oh, take a check. Just. But the NFL is the NFL, so.
And they gave away so much, knowing they're probably going to miss more than half, if not all, of this season.
Yeah.
I mean, dude ain't played in a year, and it'll be a year and a half before he actually throws the pass.
Yeah. You know what I missed when I used to watch the NFL, that they don't have as much of now. I mean, you have like characters that are coaches, like, you know, grumpy face Bill Belichick or something like that, or anything like that. But I miss like the old day, like we had like the Jerry Glanvilles and kind of that charisma type of a coach. Or even if you went back to the 70s, you had like the Hank Strams, the Vince Lombardis. It was just like more personality. Bill Parcells, that kind of put their personality out there. Now it's just like you watch a game and the coach is just there. They don't really have like the fire or something they used to have. Like, you used to love when you see coaches get fired up.
Too much social media going on for that now, I think.
I guess, but it's like,
I assume, I don't know. You still got Bill Belichick, who doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. The funny with Bill Belichick is just his cryptic press conferences, like the one-word answers and stuff that they would give and stuff. I'm like,
although his son is funny to watch on the sidelines because he's always mugging and whatever he's doing. I don't even know what he does half the time on the sidelines, but it's funny to watch him, though.
I feel like if there was a coach that would rob you in the alley, Bill Belichick would fit the profile. Like, he'd be one of those coaches, throw the hoodie up and just try to rob you.
You know, the funny thing with them, though, let's see what he does without Tom Brady. I mean, Tom Brady pretty much made Bill Belichick's career.
Well, that was always the question, right? Was it Bill Belichick or was it Tom Brady that led them all this way? Because, remember, Bill Belichick sucked when he was the Browns coach.
Oh, yeah. He was terrible.
Yeah, he was terrible. Yeah. So, and then Brady leaves and he gets the Super Bowl with the Buccaneers. And it's like, well, maybe it was Brady. And if he does it again, it's like, maybe it was Brady.
And they missed the playoffs. So it's I did hear on the radio today that they're thinking that Brady might be retiring.
Oh wait, you can do that again? Like you don't know until you know.
Which is why they say Bruce Arians quit. And Brady took like the 2-week absence. Guys saying radio, it was like there's no quarterback, especially a Tom Brady-esque, that would quit. Not even show up to practice for 2 weeks before the season starts.
Yeah.
They're like, as soon as he comes back, they're like, I guarantee he's retiring.
I don't know if he's going to retire. I think he is. I don't know. I wonder if that guy, hold my football. The guy that was buying the football last year or a few months ago, hold my football just in case. If he does retire, I'll still pay for it. Because last I heard, he hadn't wrote the check yet when he found out Brady was coming back. So,
right.
If he comes back, then I'll pay you. I mean, if he doesn't come back, I'll pay you. If he does come back, all bets are off.
Oh, yeah.
We'll have to go to court. Imagine throwing out $500,000 on the football, and he's like, "I'm coming back." Son of a bitch.
That'd be my luck right there.
Yeah.
Play for 6 more seasons.
I'm gonna have to hire somebody to break his leg so he doesn't come back. It'd be cheaper.
It probably would be cheaper. $500,000 for a ball. I cost $2. You can go to the dollar and pick it out.
There's some guys like, "Yo, are you Tom Brady?" You're like, "Yeah, I am." All right. Let's see. Washington been banned for 11 years. Would that be his career for sure? How about some miserable LBs? Well, yeah, Lambert, Ham, Ray Nitschke, Sam Huff, killers. Sam Huff, one of my alum for WVU. They were all killers. Well, one of the debates back in the day, you have to be able to remember from old football, was kind of like, who was the linebacker that stood out more in the Pittsburgh defense? Was it Jack Ham or was it Jack Lambert? Because Lambert was the middle, and he got a lot of credit for being that middle linebacker type thing, but Jack Ham was ferocious as the outside linebacker. I was always more of a Jack Ham fan than a Jack Lambert fan as a kid.
I would think Ham.
Yeah. I mean, both of them were beasts, but it's like, yeah, Ham was the one that I thought was actually the one that kind of stood out more for me. But they also had a great day. The secondary, they had Mel Blount in their secondary, who was also like an all-pro, Hall-of-Famer. The Steelers teams in the 70s, I mean, 4 Super Bowls, but they could have easily won more than that then. I felt bad more for the Cowboys because the Cowboys had a really good team. They couldn't get past the Steelers a couple times there, and then they should have had more wins than they probably did. But, it's all timing, If it wasn't for Michael Jordan retiring in basketball, the Rockets may never won any titles. Because I think the Bulls would have won all 8 years back in the 90s. Yeah. I bet every year Hakeem Olajuwon and Kenny Smith sent him a thank you card.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you for retiring. So here, okay, so
I guess that was when you went and played baseball, right?
Yeah. Vanessa's in the house. Cheers, Vanessa.
What's up, Vanessa?
Yeah.
Which that wasn't necessarily, I don't think, a retirement. That more so than it was you got to leave the league because of your gambling situation.
Yeah.
Supposedly, I guess.
Yeah.
Who knows? And then come back to win it again.
Yeah, the Dome Patrol, the New Orleans Saints, I remember them having the poster out in the day. And it was like Sam Mills, it was Ricky Jackson, It was Vaughn Johnson. I can't remember who the other linebacker was, but they were beasts. I mean, I thought for sure they had a great shot of trying to get to the Super Bowl and win one when they were all there. Bobby Hebert came along to be their quarterback, and I'm like, Bobby Hebert, that sounds like a Super Bowl quarterback name right there. You just he kind of had that little Joe Burrow type charisma with him and stuff too. I thought they were destined to be this team to get over the hump.
I totally forgot about that defense. They were good.
Yeah, they were really good. Yeah. How do I forget Pat Swilling? Oh my God. Yeah, because he had LT's number at 56. Yeah. I can't remember. I forgot Pat Swilling. When Sam Mills left to go to coach the Panthers, that's how I became a Panthers fan back in the 90s. I was a big Sam Mills fan there too. Lambert had the Nitschke lick for handmade plays. Yeah. Nitschke was a beast too. Like Nitschke was one of those players. He would just spit a tooth out and wouldn't even think twice about it. You know.
Those guys back in the time now.
Oh, back then, like remember, like Ronnie Lott. Ronnie Lott was like when he was playing, and they were like, "Well, we have to either you had to come out or whatever, or we had to cut your finger off or something like that and everything." And he's like, "Cut my finger." And he cut off the tip of his finger so he can go back into the game. Like,
oh yeah, right.
You don't get players like that nowadays. I mean, it's just like, you know.
Shouldn't I get guys? You ask me if they're gonna play. Well, if my body allows me to, I will.
Yeah.
I'll play.
Oh, here's a question for you. Since you'll know these players a lot more because they're more recent. Who would you consider to be more of the hardest hit in safety back in the late 80s and 90s? Ronnie Lott?
Yep.
Or don't wait for it, Steve Atwater. Steve Atwater used to put some people down. Steve Atwater used to put some people out, like night.
Yeah, he was late for sure. I still think you have to go with Ronnie Lott.
You think Ronnie Lott more than Steve Atwater?
That is a tough one because I totally forgot about Atwater until you just said that. My brother would go with Atwater just because he played for Denver.
I think Atwater was more. As far as hitting, I think Atwater was more of the beast that would hit you and like put you in the daze.
He was didn't he play in Oklahoma?
Did he play in Oklahoma for Atwater?
Atwater come from Oklahoma?
Only two things come from Oklahoma, according to the movie.
Steers. Oh. Can't say the rest of it.
Arkansas.
Oh, Arkansas. Okay. Well, I knew it was like a maroonish colored team.
Blake TV and JV's stayed there.
Okay. I was thinking Oklahoma for some reason.
Yeah, he.
But they're similar in color, so.
Yeah, he was a beat. I mean, for back in the '90s when we had the NFL hits type DVDs and VHS videos that would come out.
Oh yeah.
You see Atwater on there with stuff too.
Man, that's a tough one. I totally forgot about him.
Yeah.
I know. I was thinking Ronnie Lott all the way. He's like, nope. And I was like, oh yeah, I totally forgot about Atwater. I still might have. I don't know. Still might have to lean towards Ronnie Lott though, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Hitting wise, might have to go.
I mean, Ronnie Lott had his hits. Don't get me wrong. Ronnie Lott put some hits on people too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who would you go with?
For me, I think I go with Atwater.
Atwater?
As far as the hitting content. I mean, if I'm coming across the middle, both of them are going to hit you pretty hard. But I think Atwater's the one that I'd probably give a little bump.
You know, that'd be like a good test to see is like a pound per pressure or whatever the ratio would be as far as like hitting somebody.
Yeah. They did that one time on.
That'd be interesting to see if those two, like, who would hit you the hardest.
That little ESPN thing they usually do is sometimes during football season with the science test type thing.
Oh yeah.
They did one with Ray Lewis like years ago, and that was kind of interesting, like the force that Ray Lewis would actually hit somebody.
Ooh, who could you match him up with as far as linebackers? Ray Lewis. Could be a good comparison there.
As far as intensity, if I was looking at someone like a Ray Lewis type thing, for me, it'd probably be comparing Ray Lewis to Mike Singletary.
Singletary, yeah.
I think for the command they had on the field and being able to vision. The freaky thing about Mike Singletary is the freaking eyes. Like when you watch the videos of Mike Singletary, how he would stare down.
He looked like a madman.
It was like it.
Yeah. It's like when in a whole different zone. It was like,
yeah.
Talking to me.
Yeah. And Ray had intensity like that too, but Singletary had the crazy eyes, like, you know.
Derek Brooks would be an interesting one also.
Brooks?
Because he was... Yeah. I think he led the league in tackles for years.
Yeah, Brooks was like the next level after LT. Look at someone like what he had actually done. But yeah, he had his time where he was leading with the sacks and everything as well. Actually, him and like JT mentioned, him and Pat Swillen will be an interesting comparison. Because Pat Swillen had done some pretty good stuff there with the Saints. Even Buckus idolizes Nitschke and said Nitschke was the meanest person he met. Yeah. Nitschke was a son of a bitch if you're playing against him in football. I mean, he was just
good for Buckus to say that.
Yeah. I can see Nitschke definitely being one of the guys in the pile throwing some uppercuts. Like when you're under and the ref can't see you. Sneaky bastard. The Saints also had Jim Mora, so there's that. You say Jim Mora didn't do diddly poo?
Didn't do diddly poo.
Yeah, they couldn't get an offense there. That was their problem. But they had some people come through. I thought they had a shot, and they made it to some of the wild card games. I think they might have went into one of the next round as well, but they just couldn't get over that hump. I was rooting for the Saints back then, though. I remember them having Dalton Hilliard as one of their running backs back in the day. I thought he was pretty
Hilliard,
good. Yeah. Of course, I always remember Joe Horn pulling a cell phone out of his sock or whatever. With the celebration. He got fined for it.
That was back in Trail.
That was the years of the years of the No Fun League. So, yeah. Well, did you ever see the 30 for 30 on the Miami Hurricanes?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And I didn't realize it until watching it and then remembering, like, before Miami, you could celebrate in college. Like, you get a touchdown or whatever.
Yeah, right.
And that rule came out after Miami it was like, because they were saying it was too excessive or like that and everything.
I'm glad they brought that back, though, and let them do. I'm like, you guys are playing for that. You know, they're showmen also. Like, you're paying money to see these guys perform. So that's part of, like, to me, that's just part of the performance. You know?
Yeah. Well, the funny thing in college football, right, it's like you're not supposed to do anything like that. But then if you watch college basketball, they have things they do. And it's like, why can you do the one, not the other? You know, when they make a big shot, they'll do some type of gesture with their hands like that. Everything.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was...
As long as you don't do the cut the throat sign, do the cut the throat sign, I think you get a technical for that.
Oh, yeah. I think that's in all leagues. Pretty much you do that. It's like, you're out.
Yeah.
Get suspended for next game.
Which back in the day, but back in the day, that was just fun. I mean, that was just a sign that, you know, he took the dude down or whatever, like, you know.
Right,
Yeah.
That was just part of it.
But speaking of college, on the podcast this week, I actually did some different beer stories. But one of them I did was about Indiana. And it's funny now because I don't know if it's because of the NIL or what, but all these college schools are now getting deals from beer industry. So Indiana is now teaming up with Coors.
Yes.
To do stuff with the university. And I think Florida State was the first one to have a deal done. But there's different groups that are now coming in different schools. And it's just interesting because at the time, they didn't want to associate college with alcohol. Even though you knew alcohol was there, they were like, no, you can't really. And now you have schools embracing it and stuff. So it's going to be kind of interesting to see how that plays out.
But you still can't buy the beer at a basketball game.
They're not going to let you buy Coors?
Nope, no beer at all.
Was that before? Because the deal just got announced now. Maybe going forward?
Now, it's all the sports except for basketball.
So the Indiana game, you can't buy alcohol?
Nope. Oh, you can at football games, but you can't at the basketball games.
Interesting. Okay.
But the funny thing was, I went there before COVID with my cousin because he teaches at IU. Mm-hmm. So he invited me up one day for a game. I was like, yeah, I'll come up. So he took us, one of the other professors or something, they had season tickets. Well, as part of the four seats that we sat in was his, and he was there. So he took us back into this room. I had no idea that was even there in the Assembly Hall. And they were serving beer and all kinds of shit in that place. I was like, what the hell is that? I never even knew that. But yeah, I heard it yesterday when they announced that. Like, still in basketball. I'm allowing that yet.
I wonder why. Maybe because of indoor or something. I don't know.
I think it's more of a tradition thing. I'm not really sure, but I think after this year they'll change that because they'll see how much money they're missing out on not selling beer at the games. I think they're afraid of I don't know what they're afraid of. Indiana and basketball is dumb. Like they don't want to change no traditions of any sorts. Like, I mean, you're still trying to do traditions from the 80s. I mean, you ain't been in the Final Four since '92, so it's like time to move on. Let's do something new.
Has it been that long since Indiana's been to the Final Four?
Since '92, yep.
Wow. Yeah.
It's like now you're competing with these schools, the Kentuckys and the Kansas and the Carolinas and the Dukes that's moved with the time. It's like kids don't want to play for that. Now I think it's a little bit different since they've gotten Woodson as the coach there, but
yeah,
still yes. So as of right now, unless it changes between now and the time the season starts, there's no alcohol sales for basketball.
So Moore never won a playoff game with either. Even when he had Manning, he never won with the Colts a playoff game?
I don't think so.
Wow. Huh. Interesting.
I don't think so.
That's about as bad as the NBA. If you're the coach and you had James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Westbrook on the same team and you couldn't win anything. It is like
right.
All those years you had a chance. That was when Scotty Brooks was the coach there or whatever, but yeah. Although there was issues with them because, I mean, I've always said Westbrook's always going to want to shoot the ball, even though they had him at point guard, and Kevin Durant's going to take his shots, and Harden's going to prove he shouldn't be a six-man. It was always like a thing there, and
I'm kind of glad that
you had some divas that were working together.
I'm kind of glad that didn't work out though, because I hate when those teams.
But they were all drafted though. It wasn't like they made a super team like other teams did. I mean, they were drafted.
Durant.
When
they
were in Houston, when they were in Oklahoma State, yeah. But I think it's funny, like Durant and Harden go to the Nets, and the Nets just flop.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, for New Jersey, that's what I was thinking. It was like New Jersey, but I was like.
And then Kyrie's like, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying on my team, blah blah blah. After he flipped out and left, and then Durant's like, next day, I'm ready for a trade. They want to get out of New Jersey. He's like, yeah. Now Kyrie's like wants to go play with LeBron again, possibly. It's like, yeah.
I think LeBron just needs to go back to Cleveland.
LeBron's just getting the money right now. He's got that big contract, making him the most highest paid NBA player ever. So at this point, it's just dollars. I mean,
how old is he now?
He's probably like 35 or 36, I would think. I don't know how much longer he's going to keep playing there, but
I feel like he should be older.
I feel like he's got a Bobby Bonilla deal in basketball. Like, I feel like they're going to be paying him like 15 years later when he's sitting on the Florida beach or something, still getting checks coming in from the Lakers.
Bobby Bonilla day.
What's he get paid? Like 20 something? 2030?
2030, I think it is.
Yeah.
2032 or something like that. But he gets like $1.12 million a year.
Just get my Bobby Bonilla check.
I'm like, whoever the agent was for him at that point, that was genius.
Yeah. Well, with a lot of sporting contracts, what they do is they underline with like these annuity products that pay him out later on stuff. But it's like, that was a hell of a deal that he got. It's just like, yeah. Which baseball is the only one that has guaranteed full contracts. I mean,
yeah, which is dumb, but that's never going to change because they're unions.
Oh, they're union. I'll never let that change. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's why you get these guys that are like Aaron Judge now wanting 10-year, $400 million contract.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that dude's going to be in his 40s by the time you're done with that. I was like, you'll never get your return back on that.
I feel like if there was a league that should have guaranteed contracts and one that didn't need it, I feel like football would be one that would, because football, you risk the greatest injury too.
Oh, yes.
And you would want to have that money in case something were to happen. But baseball, you're not going to have, you can get hit with a ball or something like that or anything, but it's not like you're going to get your knee blown out or something like that, most likely. This is a weird type thing. You're diving for something,
And I feel like football, just not until in the last, decade that they had, guaranteed contracts.
Right, with this little stuff. And it was just really just guaranteed money.
Yeah, $5 million guaranteed, but if you play it out, you can get $40 million or whatever the deal was. But it's like, Now it's a lot greater than that. But
and that's the body taking the most impact.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. Like baseball shouldn't be like, okay, you quit. All right, we're done. You don't get no more money. You get fulfill your contract. Or you get out. Okay, you're done. Sorry about your luck, but you don't. That's it. We're not on the hook for the rest of you.
Broadhead Amber Ale. Nice. I was like a nice amber ale. This he called Jim Brown from behind in the championship, and Jim paid the price. Oh wow, it's not an easy man to run down, that's for sure. Funny thing about Jim Brown, as good as Jim Brown was in football, they said he was that much better in lacrosse. Like that was the sport he was the best in. But if there would have been a major lacrosse league, he might have done that. We would have never known about Jim Brown.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Like that's crazy to think. Lacrosse.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of schools that actually have that now. I always feel like the only one you hear about like is maybe like Duke or something like that or anything. But I'm like, they got to be playing other people. How come we don't hear about the other teams? And occasionally you'll flip on ESPN and you'll catch like a lacrosse match or something. But
it's when you need the Ocho.
Yeah, well, Ocho. God, they put everything on Ocho nowadays. I swear.
Coming up next after the cornhole event, lacrosse. Oil wrestling.
When I saw tag on the Ocho, I was like, wait a second. There's professional tag leagues now?
But I bet you stopped to watch, didn't you?
I did watch.
I did
watch. Like,
I did too.
Like get out of this corner. Yeah, they chase like tag, cornhole, darts. I'm like,
How would you feel if you were the announcer for that though? You're like, this is where my career went. I'm announcing tag. You're like, what the fuck? Red Rover. I'm going to select now.
I'm waiting to flip one to see Simon Says sometime. So yeah. That's just where we're at, trying to come up with different sporting type things. I'm like, interesting. Very, very interesting seeing these games
I thought
now.
it was like during the pandemic, although that'd be breaking, the 6 foot rules like Duck Duck Goose or something on ESPN. Duck. Who's gonna pick? Oh, again.
Oh, I'm surprised arm wrestling isn't on the Ocho yet. I'm like, let's get some. What was that movie that Sylvester Stallone was in? Hanging Top or something? Over the Top. Like, yeah, let's get some Over the Top on Ocho. I mean, get some of the slap matches where they're slapping each other's face. That would be a good one to put on there.
That's actually, you can see that on pay-per-view. Oh man, it's the funniest shit you ever see too. They wear like earplugs.
Yeah.
And they got like rolls and There's always a little Japanese dude that looks like he weighs about $110. Is the one that always wins all the time too.
Yeah. Oh, let's see here. Blake's in the house. Cheers, homie. Sorry, Mr. Sugar. I just woke up. Go back and watch. I appreciate you for popping in, homie. We're just shooting the shit at this point. Just talking about, I don't know what we're talking. Just talking about all kinds of shit.
Everything.
Another plan 2 hour turn 6 hour. Hey, if your body says rest.
That's right.
Bocce, anyone? Yeah, I've seen bocce ball on stuff. We had when I was in Cincinnati a few weeks ago. We had a company thing. They had a bocce ball thing where we were at. I don't know how to play it still. People knew how to play it. We're playing it though.
What's the spike ball? Was it spike ball or something I saw on TV one time?
Spike ball.
It's like a little round trampoline. They play it a lot on the beach and stuff.
You hit the thing and it bounced. Yeah, that was on Ocho as well. Yeah. That was not. And the slam ball was also on there where you had the basketball, but you're on trampolines.
Oh yeah.
That was awesome. Like, what the hell are we doing here? Like,
right.
Stay tuned, Blake. There'll be Fall Guys pretty soon. That'll be on Ocho. So it's like
just making up shit.
Like, coming up.
Could be a good game. Let's do that.
Yeah, I still want to see linebacker golf. That's the one I'm looking for. So. Like you play golf and these guys take so long to shoot a shot. Like I feel like there should be a linebacker golf. You got like 5 seconds. You don't get the shot off. A horn goes off and like some Terry Tate son of a bitch comes running at you. And you got to hit the ball before he hits you. It's just like that would move the game along so much easier.
That would be pretty good. That would be funny. Like, oh come on, Sergio Garcia would never make it in golf if he was.
Watching the golfer, watching the linebacker. Watching the golfer, watching the linebacker.
Like, you better hit it. He just wants to be out.
And if they don't make it a sport, they should make it a movie, because that would be a funny ass movie, I think.
But yeah, that would be like, that'd totally be like an Adam Sandler movie or
Oh,
something.
yeah. Yeah, slap matches. Yeah, it's the stuff that you're seeing nowadays is just crazy.
Oh, they have a pillow fight thing on pay-per-view also.
Yeah.
Like, who's gonna pay to watch pillow fighting on pay-per-view?
Well, the question is, who's pillow fighting? Because I know there's probably some people with a fantasy that will watch that if it's certain.
Yeah, these guys, these were dudes that you.
Oh no, I was thinking of women.
Yeah. About none of these
Although that might be for some people, might still watch.
Well, maybe. Yeah, that's true. I shouldn't say that.
Oh, cheers, 18. Slam Ball's coming back in a few months. They said. I don't doubt it. Well, they had the chess boxing, the thing, yeah. They had the lingerie football league for a few years.
I was going to say that. Like,
I mean, that was kind of interesting.
Nothing else.
I mean, if they put that on Ocho, okay, we're going to turn the corner. Yeah, we'll turn the page. We'll move it up to the next, time frame here. Yeah.
But if you had to subscribe, would you subscribe to it just because of that?
Because of lingerie football. All of a sudden, I've got ESPN Plus. I don't know how it happened.
He's like, right when we get this.
He's like up next to Birmingham Bunnies versus the Vegas Vixens. It's just on TV. I don't know what happened.
It's ESPN. What do you want me to do? I'm not sure what you want me to do about that.
Oh, and again, to show you, imagine how he answered questions on Family Feud, but how do they tape your left hands to each other and put a boxing glove on your right and swing away? I still couldn't dunk trampoline or not. But he's got the hopitis. He can't get up there to dunk. Yeah, I tried watching Slam Ball before one time, and it was just like, interesting, but not interesting. It was just like, okay, yeah. People that want to live above the rim, they couldn't do it unless they did this game.
I mean, that was almost kind of like, do you remember when COVID first hit and like there was no sports at all?
Right.
So they were doing horse. Did you see any of this? So they were doing.
I did see the horse.
Like
they were
in the
doing horse.
backyards of the star players or whatever.
Yeah.
And there was this video camcording it. Somebody was announcing it. I was like, I'm surprised they didn't actually make that into like an actual sport of like horse and whatever.
Yours up super white, great from the 3 line. Yeah, you and Larry Bird. I'm surprised they don't have like Simon matches on TV. Remember that game Simon with the colors?
Oh yeah,
memorize. That could be something they could put on the Ocho.
Yeah, be
have
like,
people
blue,
memorize
yellow,
that.
yellow,
Yeah.
yellow, green, blue.
Somebody messes up in your face, son. In your face.
Well, that wouldn't be no worse than the spelling bee, would it?
No, but I mean, like, I never understood why the spelling bee was on ESPN anyway. But
no, me either. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that wouldn't be any worse than the spelling bee.
The only thing they have going for it is because it's kids. Nobody wants to attack the kids. But I'm like, is this really? I mean, it's a competition, I know, but why is it on a sports channel? Why isn't this like on, one of the other Lifetime or something, like some other channel, like, for entertainment? Put on TBS. Why is it on ESPN? But some of those words they come up with, though, I'm like, yeah, okay. I don't know what they're going to spell on this one. I get pulled in to see what the kid knows. The kid knows. I'm like, oh shit. The kid does know how to spell it. And I like when they're like, could you use it in a sentence?
Yeah. What's the origin?
That would not help me at all.
Right. Like, I don't know. My question would be, how do you spell that? Just see if I can catch them off guard. Like, gotcha.
What is the origin of the word? Oh, it is from Latin. Oh, Latin. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be like, I still don't know.
like, yeah, still drawing blanks.
I'm gonna need you to work with me a little bit more here. Which, as a kid, I actually was a good speller for a while. But what does this spelling really get you later on? I mean, you can't get scholarships from it if you're a kid and stuff like that. But I'm just thinking in the real world, like, where are you in something that somebody asks you to spell something? Or now you just don't say, "Hey Google, spell so and so," and they there you go.
Right. That's just one of the things where you're like, oh yeah, when I was 12 years old, I won the spelling bee championship.
It's
Yeah, like how many times you get beat up?
You're getting kidnapped by somebody. If I can only spell so and so, I can get out of here. You know, it's like that's not a superpower. It can't help you. Spell it. If only I could spell pistachio.
Like, how do you spell these nuts? Can you use that in a sentence?
Yeah. Yeah, Larry Gilbert, Eric Burr. That's Eric Gilbert for sure. out of French Lick, Canada. Sad spelling is more of a sport than pro wrestling. But we know pro wrestling, yeah. Which we were talking about that earlier. No one told me, but one of my alum is actually on there now. SmackDown. I did not realize that. So, Pat McAfee, better at hockey defense. Speaking of hockey, because I think of this movie, I think of hockey, which really I shouldn't because it's only like a couple scenes in it. The new Clerks movie is about to come out, Clerks 3. Have you seen the first two Clerks movies?
I've seen the first one. I didn't even know.
You see the second one? You never saw the second one? Say the second one, yeah. So the third one's about to come out. So I am looking forward to seeing it. I won't see it in the movies. I'll wait till it comes on HBO or something like that, probably. But
was the second one worth watching?
The second one was pretty funny. It wasn't funny as the first one because the first one.
I like the first one so much. I was like, yeah, that was kind of when I was like, did they really need a second one? I don't know.
The first one kind of caught you off guard on some of the stuff when Kevin Smith did that one, but the second one was still pretty funny. I mean, I'm all about Jay and Silent Bob when I'm watching the movies. They're the ones that crack me up the most. Yeah. And so they get the third one about to come out, so I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I have to go back and watch the second one then on that one.
I think EB and Erie might be trying to go to a thing they have down in Charleston. I think Kevin Smith's going to be there for a premiere.
Oh, really?
So they might be going to see that there where he's going to be at, which would be pretty cool. Yeah.
I haven't seen that movie in forever, like the original one.
Yeah, the original one. That's some crazy shit, that movie. Like, oh, 36 dicks. Oh, including me? Oh, no, 37. I'm 37? Oh, can you use chicken strip in a sentence? My girl was taking a pole dance, so chicken strip for me. Oh, that's funny, Blake. To be fair, it's hard to Google a word if you can't spell it. Well, if you just, not to type it, you just have to talk it. Not even type it anymore. You just speak into your phone. Google, find blah, 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 and Google will figure it out. But to your point, JT, the thing that always drove me crazy kind of as a kid, I don't say it drive me crazy, but it was one of those things that never made sense to me was when kids wouldn't know how to spell a word and a teacher would say, look it up in a dictionary. How the fuck am I going to look it up in a dictionary if I don't know how to spell it? Like, where do I start at in the dictionary trying to find this word? Yeah. Teacher's like, oh, look it up in the dictionary. That doesn't make any sense. If I can't spell it, where do I even know where to go with the dictionary? Yeah.
I mean, I guess you would know what the first letter would be. Maybe the first two. I'm not really sure. I don't know. That's a good question.
You'd be like dictating. Teachers. I feel bad for teachers though. You got like all kinds of shit. Teachers is one of the most underappreciated jobs I think in the country. So I've always got applause for them, for those that go through it, but it don't make it easy on them.
Especially in the last 15 years, for sure.
Yeah. And now it's like in Florida, they have a thing that if you're a veteran, you can come teach at the Florida schools without a teacher certificate.
Really?
And you don't even need to. So basically, you're making the other teachers kind of worthless on what they did. But at the same point, you're bringing in just someone that's a veteran.
No kidding.
And it's like, okay, so this person comes in. Yeah, I'll be a teacher. Next thing you know, he's got kindergarten. He's talking about being in a foxhole, and this shit starts
Right.
going off all crazy and stuff.
What do you do as a parent? You're like, I think I'm gonna go to a different school.
Yeah. But then I think, well, it makes Florida logic, so.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. And you got people like teachers quitting in Texas because of stuff. It's just like teachers and nurses, two of the ones I feel like definitely need to have more support behind them. A lot of shit they go through.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Sound it out. Right? It takes it. Sound it out. Another thing the teachers will do. Yeah. Yeah. If you still clerk as coming changing your age, you lost that life. Yeah. Well, there are older clerks out there, you know.
Yes, there is.
But some people could enjoy being a clerk. You know, it's a stress-free kind of life. You're running a little convenience store. You got people coming in, you know, the community. You got no pressure. It's not all about the money for you. It's just a nice, easy job. So you could be okay being a clerk, possibly. You get all the big gulp for life.
I mean,
if you're at 7-Eleven.
All the big gulps and the hot dogs.
The taquitos, all the taquitos that are rolling around there. Yeah. Oh, he tricked him to read the dictionary. I'm not going to tell himself to read it, right? Well, yeah, he read the dictionary because he was in prison, and that's where you learn to get knowledge and stuff. But I don't think it was meant that way when kids were trying to figure it out. It just didn't help them. I mean, you could maybe help to learn to look in the dictionary, but at the same point, the simplicity of the answer, it was just like, too. Now, I can see if you were trying to help them out and show them in the dictionary where it was, that would be a little bit different,
Right.
Crudite, yeah. But yeah. This is Utopia is smooth as can be. It was worldwide stout. Somebody posted a thing on.
So it's probably what, I forget, what was that one, like 14 and a half or something?
This one, no, this is like close to 18, I think.
Oh, is it that high? Okay.
Dogfish Head likes to hide their shit in their bottles.
Well, they do it within the caps for like the higher age. Like the caps.
Not on this one they didn't.
Oh, they didn't?
No.
What's the cap on that one look like?
The top of the cap?
Yeah, so that one's different than the normal one, I think. Because the normal one just has like the shark looking fish on top of it.
Yeah, this one has a shark fish on it.
Yeah, but I mean they do like the green triangle thing also on like the higher ABV ones, I believe. I could be wrong.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the green triangle's on here as well. Just that the number's not on there. Yeah. But I think this is 17 something. But it's funny, somebody posted the other day on a beer they were having, and I think it was like 11%, and they were asking the highest ABV beer anybody's had. And for me, it was 19.3. That's the one not on here, but on the beer I had.
Let's see what I give. What I give that?
But you had a higher amount because you've had Utopia before, so you were in the 20s.
Oh yeah, that one's like 24 or something, 25 or something.
And you had Utopia because you had the whole bottle.
Let's see, the one I had was 2021. And that was in June of. Oh, I just had it this year. So yeah, it was in June of this year, June 2nd. But it was the 2021 variant.
Of what? Of what?
Of age of the Utopias.
Okay.
That one. Is there a date on that one?
This one here, no. Yeah, there's no date on here. I don't think they date their stuff usually.
So it says it was released in March of 2021.
This will be one. This was released this year, though.
Huh. Wonder if they're doing it, like you said, every year now.
Let me see on mine, because I've checked it in before. Oh, you know what? I take it back. This does say 2021, the one I picked up when I got it. But somebody did put in a thing for 2022. I guess I must have got this earlier this year, but I kind of had it just kind of in the thing there, chilling.
You know, I don't.
17.3.
I think it was one of those that just kind of floated around because I don't think it showed up here until earlier this year. Because I didn't drink mine until June, and I only just picked up one bottle because the 4-pack was like $40 or something.
Yeah, I got a 4-pack when I got it. It was like 36 or 37 or something. I just got them because I was like, I've been looking for them so long. I found one spot that actually had them. I'm like, I'll just get them now because I never won't see them again. Kind of like the thing you were looking at, like we were talking earlier. It's like, fuck it, I'll get them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't get a single, so.
Like, I'm just going to get one, and if I like it, I'll go back and get the other ones, or a 4-pack, but then they were gone, so I was like, should have just got them all with that.
Well, except, first time I was fired as a clerk, only averaged 4 scans. Got them scanned a minute. It's because you're probably talking to the people, Blake. You're a talker. It's all good. You probably have a good conversation, so. Well, Walmart makes you scan ads, but I had to pay for experience. So I actually, he's like Walmart too. I actually go to the self scans a lot of time. Well, now I go to a grocery store here, and I go to the people most of the time because their self scans are always backed up. But I just kind of like go in and get out with it. Like, people are all like, "Well, I'm going to pay for this and I have to bag stuff myself." Blah blah blah. I'm like, you know what? If it saves me convenience, I have no problem using the self scan. Sooner or later, we'll probably all have self scans. I mean,
most of the time they're only just self scans anyway when you go. Actually,
I mean, I went to my first McDonald's a few months back. It wasn't here; it was somewhere we were traveling somewhere, and you basically had to go to the kiosk to order. So you didn't order from a person; you ordered from the kiosk, and then the people prepared your order. And sooner or later, if I gotta have the order, I'll get prepared without having as many people there too. I mean, it's just
I feel like
the future.
I feel like let's see, when was that? Last year, maybe last fall, I think. I went up to Bloomington, and there's a McDonald's on the way, and that was kind of the same deal. You could do either or, but they had the kiosks.
Yeah.
You could still go to the counter, but I think they preferred that you went to the kiosk.
Yeah. And they probably got a boost from like COVID where they have to deal with people. They probably kind of led them more into leading into the kiosk. Look how fast they were lucky to come through in the early Le Champion scan. Oh, yeah. Le Champion. Blake, if I tell them, aren't you lucky to be here with me?
I'm kind of surprised they still have like the curbside pickup at a lot of places, or the.
Oh, I don't think that's going to go away. I think people are used to now order from home and just drive it in.
I agree with you, but I'm still kind of surprised to see that a lot of places are still doing it.
It just sets it in, and I wonder how it works with staffing issues. But you have some people that now you go in, like when I go to the store, I usually go, and there's people, as I'm shopping, there's people that work for the store shopping right next to me for the people that come in for the curbside orders, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But for convenience-wise, people are like, well, I just do it this way and drive in and pick it up, you know.
Well, that's what we did a couple weeks ago for groceries. We hardly ever do the curbside, whatever, because we both hate going grocery shopping.
Yeah.
She's like, all right, let's just, I think we did it from Walmart or something. And she's like, we'll just go in there and pick it
and go. The only thing I don't
like, I'm never gonna do that. I'm never gonna do it the other way again.
The only other thing I wouldn't do like curbs. Like there are some things, and I've noticed when people are actually doing it in the store, like for shopping for people, it's like if you're getting fruits or vegetables, like from the produce thing, they just grab whatever, and it's like sometimes you got to know to go through stuff because sometimes it's not the best stuff they may throw in your thing,
or
and like the meats, the meats are the other area where you want to make sure. But if you're getting like dry goods stuff, like if you're like box of cereals and
or canned goods,
like canned goods, something like that, and everything. And well, here even we just DoorDash it. You can just DoorDash and they'll bring it here for that kind of stuff, and then we just go get the other stuff, which cuts down on time.
Yeah. Let's how we did any of those either, like meats or anything.
Yeah.
All like bought stuff or whatever.
Yeah, it's like why not? If it makes that much easier and saves you the time of having to go, and it's just like here you have a choice. You can have it delivered. Like with our door, like I go downstairs in our apartment we have here, you'll go down there, it'll be like bags from Whole Foods, Kroger, not Kroger, but Harris Teeter and Sprouts, all these different grocery stores, while all these other ones that are out there, it's like they'll bring it to you. So you don't even have to go if you want to do it that way. Or you can go and you go there, like Whole Foods and like Harris Teeter, they have lockers in the front that you can pick up, or you pull into the curbside and just come out to your car with it. They tell you when it's ready. Yeah, which is nice. So,
which other nice thing is you don't impulse buy either.
Yeah. Because the candy bars will get me at times, and I'm sitting there waiting to get online. Like, oh, is that a new Reese's? Yeah. Let me see what this is.
Like at work, coming home, and you're like hungry for dinner or something. And you're like, oh, that sounds good. Oh, that sounds good. You just start throwing shit in your cart, and you're like.
Yeah.
The next thing you know, it sits in your pantry for like 2 months, and you're like, okay, I guess I can throw that out now.
Yeah, I don't shop Walmart. Canadian for the big box experience. Yeah. So she's talking to me at the hey, my guys, my car is a 9 a.m. doctor's appointment. All right, brother. Well, great to hang out, JT.
See you, JT.
Have a good luck with the car tomorrow morning. I like going to the stores and relationships with the people. Yeah, I mean, if you know the people there or stuff like that, everything that can be fine. Sometimes people are just like start asking. Like we used to go to shop where we were at, and you came out there before in Independence, Kentucky, and so she would put on the list like, give me papaya or give me some exotic fruit that we would have there at the Kroger. But then we were in the country, as you know, so it's like we go to check out. The clerk be like, oh, what is this? I never seen this. Like they would have a conversation about it. It's like, stop palming my papaya, please, and put it in the bag.
Stop fingering my food, man. Like there's a pandemic going around. Stop touching my shit.
Why are you gripping my Guatemalan apples? So sometimes you can avoid that conversation by going to self-checkout. So
true.
But I knew some of the people there at some of the stores, so sometimes I have a good conversation with them too and stuff. But yeah.
Like fondle your own stuff, but fondle mine.
And sometimes it's good to go to the clerks too, because they'll tell you like, oh, you got this, and you didn't maybe missed it, and it's like, well, this is buy one get one free. So if you want to go back and get another one, we give that to you for free. Oh, I didn't realize that, so,
Yeah.
So sometimes you might miss that because the computer's not going to tell you. It's just going to charge you for the one and move you on.
Well, the one where they shop for you and you pick it up, I do know if there's something you select and they don't have it, or get something else, like it might be a different brand or something.
Yeah, if you say give me an alternative or something like that, because she'll do that sometimes on our list.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing too, is like, oh, I wanted to get this Welch's grape jelly. Oh, they're out of Welch's, but we got you Aunt Sally's grape jelly. Oh, one for $2 a bottle to like $5 a bottle. Like, whoa, who is this Aunt Sally? I have no idea who this lady is.
I don't know her. I don't want that. Yeah.
I'm used to Smuckers. Just don't be throwing Aunt Sally in my face like that.
I pass.
Yeah.
Dig through your bag.
But no, I mean, it's all what works for you. I mean, this is kind of where you want to go to in the future, I guess, like I said. So it's kind of nice at some points, but sometimes you have to watch some of the stuff they actually do.
Yeah.
But
I guess one of those things that's never going to go away now, for sure, I don't think.
Oh, I don't think it will either. I think they'll probably just enhance and move forward. I mean, now that we're to the point, like with Google and stuff like that, where they're trying to do like some of these self-driving cars, I think that's going to be something down the pike at some point too. I mean,
oh yeah.
Which I gotta admit, I mean, having a self-driving car is kind of a cool type thing with it. I mean, if you can get a self-driving car to go to work and whether you wanted to catch a couple extra minutes of shut-eye or read the paper or something. I don't know if I could do it because I'd probably freak out if I couldn't control the car.
Right.
But for some people, I can see them just like, they'll jump right in. It's more like the younger generations will jump right in and go on that ride or whatever. So, but they're going to be stuff like that. I mean, being a kid watching the Jetsons, we always thought it would happen at some point to have stuff like that. I mean,
I remember watching the Jetsons as a kid, and I remember my dad would be like, by the time you're old enough to drive, that's what you're going to be, in a flying car. Funny thing was, I think he was dead serious about it, too. Like, this is the way it's going to be.
Well, you look at the stuff back then. I mean, you look at stuff like Blade Runner and when they did like Demolition Man. I mean, we're like at those times, like 2022, like we're supposed to be the flying car age. What's going on?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We're behind the times. We're behind the times.
I mean, we got a helicopter that can turn into a plane. So don't tell me we can't have flying cars. Somebody's holding it back. Somebody's holding us back somewhere, right? We should have a flying car by now. A hovercraft at least, like
God, could you imagine if people could actually fly their car? They can't fucking drive their car, let alone fly a car. What the hell? That'd be a nightmare.
Oh my God, I can't imagine a DMV for that spot. Oh, you have to get a flying license. Good luck. You'll be there all fucking day. Yeah. Oh my God.
That'd be the highest suicidal rate of job.
People driving. How do I parallel park in the sky? Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, some of y'all are safe on the roads. I can't imagine what you're like in the air. Just
how do you parallel park in the sky? As much as I laugh about that, the funniest thing is somebody would actually ask that. What do we do?
Do I ladder down? How do I get down there? Do I put it in neutral and just jump off the ladder? Yeah. It's like, I like to see the future, but then I'm nervous about the future. So,
they'd be like, what if I'm flying overseas? Do I fly in a different lane or in the,
I mean, seriously, we got people now, and I had this happen earlier. I was driving the car, light went green, went drive through. Somebody just not pay attention, almost walked out in the middle of the street because they got the AirPods on and the head down, looking at the iPad. It's like, dude, pay attention to where you're at. Take out the headphones. Put away the thing while you're walking out here crossing traffic. Like you're just walking right out there.
Crazy. Pay attention to anything.
I'm like the ADD for people nowadays. Is it ADD or ADHD or both of them that people have nowadays? Yeah, I can't imagine them having flying cars.
No.
Yeah.
It was probably in the works. One time they're like, no, screw this. This will never work.
Oh my God, you want to get like fucking stress out air traffic controllers. You're gonna be responsible for the flying cars now.
Yeah, I take that back. That could be like the highest suicidal rate job. Yeah. Be like, what? What would you have to go through to get the license for that? Could you just go like?
It's bad enough with like drones in the air nowadays. Now people want to put cars up there. Like, you got fucking pigeons that take planes down. Just flapping. The meat at Walmart tastes something. Depends where that meat came from. It can happen. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. This meat's a little gray. Why is it gray?
Yeah, the burbs on Mars. Yeah. Yeah, Mars, they're actually, speaking of Mars, I was watching the news the other night. They're working on training now. So they have like these swimming pools where they kind of make these rooms kind of like if you were on the moon or if you were on Mars. So right now they were splitting one of the rooms. It was like on the nightly news or whatever. But they're setting up to do the next mission to Mars, to the moon, because we haven't been to the moon since 1969 or whatever, although some conspiracy theorists will challenge that, but I'm not going to challenge. I'm just saying that's the last time we said we were at the moon. And at the same point, we're trying to go to Mars too. It's kind of like, so they got this one pool area where part of it was simulated for when you were on the moon and one part was for when you were on Mars type stuff. It was kind of interesting, but I'm like, you go to Mars, you're just there by yourself. Like you're there with your crew by yourself, basically. It's just like, okay, we're going to walk around and take samples. I mean, I know at some point you got to like look to build for the future. And a lot of stuff that we use for technology have come out of like NASA type things, but I'm like, I gotta think like if people had to leave the Earth at some point, that would be some crazy ass shit too. Like, you know, like what's it gonna be like asteroids coming to Earth and we gotta leave and go to like another thing? We're like Battlestar Galactica all out there fucking traveling. Ragtag people like these Battlestar Galactica or something. I mean, at the same point, I feel like at some point something's gonna happen. It's like, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, right now we're seeing all this climate change, and they're talking about the droughts out west and now the droughts in the Northeast, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm old enough that by the shit goes bad, I'm gonna be in the ground already. But for future generations, I'm like, I don't know how you prepare kids for that. Like, how do you prepare? Like, you hope for the best. You try to give them the best knowledge you can give them, I guess. I mean, like, what do you guys ever talk like a Kylie about anything like that, or?
I mean, during COVID it was kind of hard because, like, I don't know. You're just kind of winging it too because we've never experienced that.
Right.
Stay at home, you know, never, you know, at home school or whatever. Like, you just log on. She did it all herself. Just log on, do her work, whatever. Time you go home from work, like, let's go. I was done, you know, done at noon or whatever. Like, it didn't make sense to me, but there's no. To answer that, I don't know. Like, you just do hope for the best.
Yeah.
Hope you did the best, and I don't really. It was hard. It was hard.
Yeah.
That's being on the parents' side. I can't imagine. Like, could you imagine being in school and being missing 2/3 of your high school?
No, it had to be a weird type thing. And I mean, you're right. Our generation kind of missed a lot of things that have happened, whether before us or after us. You know, I may mention on stuff before, like our parents, they had to go through drills like nuclear war type things, right? Baskets like that.
Yeah.
Most of us as Gen Xers never had to really go through that. It was past that point where we didn't have to deal with a lot of that. And we didn't have like the outbreak type thing, you know, until recently. Right. So we didn't have to deal with like a major outbreak as a kid. Now you've got like, the COVID type stuff. Now you got the possibility of polio type things, and you got all this other stuff that are popping up. And it's like, our generation was the generation that was able to avoid a lot of that shit. You know, it's kind of like,
right.
So to be able to now, like if you have children like you guys do, it's kind of like, how do you prepare them for stuff where you haven't had to really go through it? You know, it's kind of like, it's all new for a lot of people. Like, how do you deal with this type of stuff, you know? So it's weird.
Yeah, because I think they only went to high school their freshman year, the first semester.
Mm-hmm.
COVID hit, and they missed second semester of the freshman year. All of sophomore year was at home school.
Mm-hmm.
Then last year was their junior year, and my niece, my brother's daughter, she's the same age as Kylie. She's 3 months older than Kylie, but they're in the same grade. So she stayed at home last year and did the homeschool still. Kylie had to go to school because she did Prosser for 1 year,
mm-hmm.
which made her had to go in the afternoons to go to high school, which was a good thing.
Right.
Although she said if she didn't do Prosser, she probably would have done at home also. But now this year, being their senior year, my niece decided to go to school. And I don't know if she's still having a hard time, but the first week and a half or so, she was having a real hard time to adjust because, like, she really didn't have any friends that she hung out with or whatever, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how kids are in that, they start grouping or whatever, so you're either in or you're out, you know. So it's like she hadn't been for basically 2.5 years, you know.
Yeah,
and I couldn't even imagine going through that, you know.
Well, you look at like your formative years, right? Like your sophomore, junior, senior. That's like the end of your high school period, but that's like where you're also making kind of those ties because you're coming out of like the puberty type thing. You're like 16, right. 17, 18. It's kind of like you're becoming kind of an adult even before you leave to go to college. So that to not have that social aspect had to make an impact for sure. So
I'm kind of curious how that'll play out in the next 10 years, let's say.
Yeah.
Just on how.
Well, your social skills, right? Because if you don't have,
that's what I'm saying.
They've got to be affected in some type of way.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm kind of curious to see over the next 10 years how that's going to play out on a lot of the kids now. That's even pre-high school, like the kids that were in junior high, or even some of the elementary kids, when it's really important, to kind of get that social aspect of things, growing up. Not probably more so in high school, I think. Because
it's kind of funny because so I went to Cincinnati a few weeks ago, right? And we were talking with some of our people there, and our team that were like younger and stuff. We were talking about like when we sent emails and kind of stuff, and they were like, one of my friends there, she was like, "Yeah, when you send emails, you're like blah blah blah, and then you're like ... And it's like usually ... You know what that's like? That's like fuck you. Like I'm like, what are you talking about? And she's like, whenever you send your email, and the other ones were like, yeah, when you say ... it's like blah 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 blah. They see it differently than we do. Like I do ... I think of like yada yada yada, etc. type thing.
Right?
Like,
that's what I would.
But the younger generation, they're like, that's kind of like a thing. And I'm like, no way. They ask somebody else, like, oh yeah, if you do ... it's like fuck. It's like I didn't know things changed. I didn't know that's what had changed in the whole text and email type world. So,
I didn't know that either, honestly.
Yeah. But there are some times when ... is fuck you. I'm just saying. But I did not mean it to come across that way. And it's like, I feel like that's changed because of during the COVID type things and stuff like that and everything. It's just like,
it's weird. It's like a whole nother language.
Yeah. So, and I think, I don't know if people kind of evolved more into some of the texting type world where they kind of come up with different definitions for things. But, it's like if somebody types all caps, they're yelling at you. You take it as yelling, but some people just type all caps and they want to express a point, and they mean to be kind of coming across as yelling and stuff too. So, but you're losing that social aspect because you're not face to face with people, and so now you're left to the interpretation of what's being typed on the screen in front of you. So, and that's always got room for error.
That's true. That is true.
But I mean, these are the times that we're in. Times that definitely changed, and it's interesting. So
that's me and my cousin always use debates about it all the time. It's like he doesn't have any kids. He's always like, you let her do this or that or whatever. I'm like, yeah. Well, if it was my kid, I'd be like, well, it's not your kid for one. Also, this isn't 1980. It was when you were,
Yeah. Well, even parenting is different, right? I was talking to Shanice about that the other day. It's like,
too,
like I see kids do kind of stuff, and like you can't do like back when we were kids. It's like we were kids, like in the 70s. If you went running up the freaking mall food court or something like that, and everything like that, and your parents slapped the shit out of you for doing that, that's just how it was. Nowadays, you do that, you got CPS being called on you by some bystander or something like that.
No, you have to be a parent if you're with your aunt and uncle or whoever, somebody in your
family. Whoever was with you, whoever was in charge of you that day, they had the right to whip that ass. Yeah. Which was always worse, because if it wasn't your parent, that person that had control, you get to whip your ass, and then your parent had to whip your ass as well.
You get twice.
So you didn't want to screw up with somebody that wasn't your parent because you had to deal with it more than once. But
right, it wasn't going away. As soon as you get home, you're like, oh, I heard you did that.
I remember when I was a kid, it was like I was always fascinated by escalators. So when I was a kid, we used to go like one of our malls, the Morristown Mall, and I went with my grandma one time, and I always would go by the escalator, hit the stop button because it was a red stop, and it was right at the kids' level. So I would always push it, and people would be like, I would just go around to different stores doing it. And my grandma caught me one time and just whack. Like nowadays, you don't have that really happening, stuff like that. But it's like I feel like if I wouldn't have got that, I wouldn't have stopped doing it. It was just like there's a thing there. But I'm like, why would you put this on the kids' level anyway? Because the kids I wonder what this is going to do. And then you press the button and stuff. But yeah. But
really didn't want somebody doing that.
Yeah.
Why would you put it right there in my plain view?
That's a technical flaw on the engineer's part. That's all I'm saying, to put it right there.
Exactly.
But it was kind of like a different time. Nowadays, if she would have done something like that, somebody might have called, who are you? Why are you hitting that kid? Blah, blah, blah. Thing. It's just a different type world. But, we adapt. You saw the picture I put on Facebook. So, I mean, there's not much that freaked us out as Gen Xers. So we were like, anything was pretty. I mean, like I said, we were the generation that watched Faces of Death and laughed when we watched it. So it was like, if you're watching this and you're laughing at Faces of Death, it's like, all right, your generation's pretty much ready for anything. So
right. One, just to watch that for entertainment.
Just to sit there and watch that for entertainment, right? Like waiting to see what's going to happen there and not like freaking out or something, you know. It's like I might even be a little demented of a generation now I think about it.
That's what I was going to say. It's like, that's actually probably doesn't make it sound so good.
When someone trips in a horror movie, we're like the people yelling, "That's what you get. That's what you get."
Same one, don't go there. Don't there you go. Don't do that.
But I love my generation. My generation wasn't afraid of anything, so you know, we had to fight through a lot of shit there too, and you know, just took it on. The Earth is flat, sons. The moon is a ball of cheese. Old cartoons. Oh, Crack the Cowbell, Bobcat, West Coast Red Ale. Gilbert's on the roll tonight.
Oh.
Neighbors used to crack your ass, and when you would get it again when you came home. So it's just like, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you ever get spanked? Did you ever get spanked when you were a kid, like the belt or anything, or?
Not really, because my dad yelled enough to where.
If it put the fear of God into you.
Yes, that's all he needed.
You do know when the next level hits, like your parents yelling at you, and you're like, okay. In your mind, you're like, I may have went too far. I may have just went too far on that one. But
I think Shannon said one time her mom was trying to whip her with a belt or something. How was that, Shannon? Was it your mom that tried to whip you in a belt, and he was like going around in circles or something?
She held one arm and then they ended up going around in a circle.
Oh, she grabbed the belt?
She would hold her by the arm, and Shannon would be running in circles, and then she'd run around in circles with her, trying to get spanked with the belt.
Oh, I think the funniest thing is when I look back at it now, when there's always a moment, if you did get spanked with the belt, there was always a moment you had at that point where, I think at least, I know some of my other friends have had the same thing, where you've actually grabbed the belt.
Oh, I never was that fucking brave.
Oh, you never got it? I grabbed the belt one time, and it was just like...
That was your worst mistake?
Well, you're like, what do I do now? It's kind of like when the coyote catches the roadrunner. It's like, if I eat you, then what would I do the rest of the time, right? It's kind of like you grab the belt, and my mom was like, let go of the belt. And you're like, no. And you're like... You know, in your mind, you're probably making it worse, but you're so paralyzed, you don't know how to respond correctly to it, and so.
But I want to let go. Yeah, I don't want to let go.
You try to negotiate your stance or whatever like that, but yeah, that doesn't work out. But it's just that I remember the time I did that, and it was just like, I don't know what to do right now. Just kind of frozen here.
Just that she had her hand whipped with the belt before she could stick her hand in front of her butt.
It's like you grab the sword of He-Man and you don't know what to do with it. You're like,
right.
It's like you want that power, Grayskull, but you know you don't fully have it.
I had an uncle that would pick us up by our ears.
By your ears?
Yeah, so if you were over at their house and you did something that you wasn't supposed to do, he would literally like pick you up. So like, you know, he was standing in front of me, these were his hands, and he'd pick you up off the ground and, you know, yell at you or whatever.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure CPS would frown upon that.
I think the belt thing was you know, you think about the belt thing, was that the worst? I don't feel like the belt thing was the worst thing. I felt like my godbrother's dad, when we used to stay with him, if you got in trouble, he'd make you stand in the corner. Sometimes you would get the belt, but sometimes you would stand in the corner. I felt like that was worse than the belt. Like if you got the belt, it was over and done with, you went on your way.
Yeah.
You might cry a little bit and all that kind of stuff, but that's fine. You were good to go in about like 10 or 15 minutes or whatever. But when you just stand in the corner for like half an hour, just looking at this fucking wall and you can't turn around, that seemed to me like that was worse. Like having to stand there.
bad thing was they probably just would watch TV and forgot you were staying in there.
Oh, they would forget. They come in your room and be like, "Oh, you're still here? Okay, well, you're good to go now."
Yeah. How long you been here? I don't know. A long time.
You're just sitting there fixated on the corner, and it's just like, and if they are there, like, don't turn around, like, yeah. I felt like that was worse than the belt. So, and it'd be like the option of getting the belt or going to the corner. I would take the belt. That's just me, you know. I was like,
get it over and done with.
Get over and done and be outside in an hour. So yeah. Blake said he was 7, pressing a car cigarette lighter one time. Told my cousin to grab the Cheerio. Worst beating ever with them. Ooh, fly swatter. Metal. Ooh, fly swatter is not
metal
good.
In first.
Yeah. That is not good at all. When I was 6, ran for my mom and trying to whoop me, ran through a brand new screen door, knocked off the hinges. Yeah, that would be a big ass whooping for sure. Like,
no kidding.
Yeah, it's funny some of the household items that parents will have around the house that you didn't know could be used until you got in trouble for stuff like that.
Like you said, nowadays, if you were to do that.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people know about the wooden spoons. Like, I feel like a lot of people got hit with the wooden spoons at points. And I think the worst thing I've never gotten hit with, but I've had friends that got hit like with the, they don't make them anymore, I don't think now, but they may. I haven't seen them, but the old Matchbox car tracks.
Oh, God.
I've had friends get hit with those, and those will weld up on kids.
Those things would whip you. Like, I mean, I never got hit with one, but.
That might have been abuse.
I remember like whipping those. Yeah, those things. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's full as all could be. I remember those. God, can you imagine getting hit with one of those?
Yeah, those were ones that it was what it was available sometimes, and if you had those Matchbox tracks around, sometimes the parent might grab that. I'd be like,
that would be Welp City for sure.
Oh yeah. That would probably get somebody in trouble nowadays if they saw that on the kid.
Oh, yeah.
No
doubt.
George said, I used to get an ass slap, face slap the corner, and threaten with the pipe door walking stick and fork for not. I did the fork for not eating. But the wooden fork, I remember the parents used to have the wooden fork and wooden spoons on their wall. And yeah, those were used. And then my grandmother, because she was like in our kind of rural area, in New Jersey and stuff like that, where they had like a little bit of a farm and stuff like that outside. When I was a kid there, it was like, go out and get a switch. And it's like, you had to go out and get your own weapon to get used against you. I mean, do you realize how traumatizing that is nowadays? You had to choose a weapon that would be used against you.
Kind of barbaric.
Acting up. And if she had to go, it was even that much worse. Like, you couldn't come back in with like some twig that was like half dead or whatever. Like, grandparents would know. They want that snap back in them.
Yes.
So it was like, that's like traumatizing. You know, you think about it back then. This was like, you know.
You think that's just a little bitty old twig. That ain't gonna do nothing else.
Yeah.
The whip of it, like, oh, wait a minute. Give it the stick branch.
I wonder if that's more of a Southern thing, because she was from Virginia, and I feel like my friends from the South had to deal with that a lot more than ones from the North. Like, ones in the North, more the belts, maybe the wooden fork, the wooden spoon, Matchbox tracks, whatever. But the ones from the South, very common to have to go out and get a twitch. Yeah. Or a switch, as they would say back then. Yeah. That was, yeah. But in the end, I mean, it was just what it was. If you acted up, you got disciplined for it. So it's not like you died from or anything like that and everything. But yeah. Now, nowadays, you'll see some things where it's definitely overboard. Like, you have people that I don't think they're ready to be parents and like that and everything, where they're like punching their kids, just doing stuff like that. That's definitely different.
Oh, yeah.
Than what we did. I mean, it was kind of like
abuse.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
But they kind of get all lumped together. Like, if you do anything, like I've been in a Walmart and I've seen kids run wild, and I'm like, you want to use my belt? I mean, I'll volunteer my belt if you want to take the kids in the dressing room and settle something.
Right. I mean,
That's
part of the problem is like there's no fear, and there's really no fear in kids now. You know?
Yeah, and a lot of kids, as they get older, they start to learn. Well, you know, I've seen comedians talk about like where kids will be like, "Well, I'll call CPS." I mean, you couldn't tell my mom that, because she'd be like, "Well, here's the phone, go ahead and dial."
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was a different thing, you know, back then.
Send them on their way.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, like looking up to I'm just talking like another kid that was like just a couple years older. Just because they were older, you were always kind of like, oh, you know, you always felt like they were, you know, wiser, stronger, or whatever. Like you always kind of had a little bit of that fear just because they were older than you know.
Yeah.
I don't feel like now. It's like I remember back in my 20s, be I don't know. 13, 14-year-old kid and be like talking back or saying, you know, get out of my way. Yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I would never even say nothing like that at that age to know the person, but it's like now it's like they don't give a shit about anything.
No, I see some kids say stuff to some of their parents sometimes, and I'm like, I don't know how that even happens because. At my house, you'd have woke up the next day back in the day. Like you'd have said it, and next thing you know, from Saturday to Sunday, and you're waking up, you know.
Like what day is it? The second? No,
it's like what happened? Everything went dark
for a week.
It's like
you mean I was in a coma? No, you were just asleep. It's
definitely a different world nowadays, but. You know, I guess it is what he is. Always listen to my grandmas. You could disappear. Yeah. Oh, back then, what parents would say, I brought you into the world, I can take you out too. Like, you know, you're like, is that a threat? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess you could.
World can take you out of this world. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly what that means, but I don't like the way it sounds.
And there's like, don't think you can ever get so big I can't whip that ass. Well,
yeah, right.
Like, you're kind of looking down at your parent, but you're like, I don't know. I kind of doubt myself now.
Exactly, yeah. My dad was always like, you know, man, if you get up, still whoop your ass. I'm sure it's true. No matter how old I get. Then before he passed away, like, I'm sure I probably could have, but I wouldn't want to try it anyway. I still wouldn't want to try it.
I'm not going to try to take that test right now. Yeah.
Right. Well, I got to take your word for it.
Yeah, but it's just like crazy, but you know, it was for our own good and stuff for the most part. So I think we all came out okay from it and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? So we're all stronger. And
yeah. Like the world still kind of needs that. And
I see it more now as we're older. Just like, you know, just trying to prepare you for stuff down the line.
Right. Yeah. It's different. Like I said, the kids are just different.
Yeah, I mean, there's times where I'm like, oh, I wish I would have fucking listened on that. Like, you know, thinking back on stuff, you know, it's kind of like, you thought it was parents being rough on you, but then you realize later on, like, oh, I wish I would have maybe done this or done that or listened more there.
I do feel like, and Shane and I was talking about this the other day, like, maybe the kids now, say, of Kylie's age or whatever, do feel like they might be more humanitarian, like they're more open to.
I think the kids of the younger generation are. I think they're more open to it. Yeah. I think there's more.
You're black or you're Mexican or you're white, whatever. Like I feel like there's more of it's more accepting all around for anything.
Yeah.
You know, if that makes sense. Like it's.
I think overall there's more of that coming together. I think you still have pockets where you still have the racist type things and stuff that are in play, but I think overall, generally, I think each generation has come more together in a lot of things. You see a lot, and like we talk about here as we watch commercials. If you watch commercials nowadays, a lot more you have the interracial type commercials because number-wise, the whole demographic is changing of America.
Oh yeah.
So you have more of basically the browning of America, as it's called. So you see that more, and that's what marketing actually puts out there ahead of time. So I feel like over the last few years, you've seen things like Tide commercials or Cheerio commercials or these other ones where they have like interracial type relationships in, and it's more preparing people for that coming down the line. Because some people have complained to some of these advertisers and stuff like that, but it's like, it's kind of like the more you see it, the more you become more comfortable around it. And now you're seeing more of the LGBT type stuff as well.
Right.
Because you have more of that. You see more commercials when that's in play. So each generation kind of pushes more, I think, towards that now, which is a good thing.
Well,
it's more noticeable. And if you know to look for it, you'll see it a lot more. It's kind of like if I didn't tell you there was an arrow in the FedEx logo, you probably wouldn't realize it. But once I tell you there's an arrow in the FedEx logo, you can't not see it now.
You're right.
Yeah.
But I also think too, though, like you think about it, it's really not been that long ago when you had the racial things going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like our parents lived through that thing, and you still have a lot of the parents that are still alive today that almost feel like that breed, and before then would have to die out before it gets.
And that's what happens as each generation goes. Some die out, and others bring in different things, and
it's starting to happen now.
Yeah,
I mean,
you have some
of those generations is because that's what they were taught. That's what they think it's going to be.
Yeah,
kind of thing. But I don't think it's that way as much as what it used to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That you have some of the older ones that'll try to.
I mean, not just in race, but anything in general. Like I feel like there's more of a smarts to kids where they're learning more on the outside of what they're being taught from their parents or whatever,
Well, I think some of them, the ones that were kind of in that direction that try to say that to their kids or grandkids and everything, it's kind of like their kids and grandkids are kind of like, no, it's not really like that. Like they're having more experiences where they're seeing different people and it's becoming a different shift for them.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, in a way, there's a little bit of a pushback because they have their experience to rely on as well. And they say, well, no, it's not like this or it's not like that. So.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Which is good to see that it's kind of evolving to,
Yeah.
We're not quite there yet, but we're getting, I feel like there is a push.
Yeah, there's still a road to walk for sure.
Yeah, no, there is. And there probably always will be to a certain extent, but I feel like it's getting closer with the younger generations now.
Yeah.
Than when we were growing up or even before, when our parents were kids or growing up or whatever.
Yeah, and I think it depends on where you were in the country as well, too. Like for me, when I went to high school in New Jersey, there was a good amount of like interracial dating that took place. At the same point at that time, if you were out in West Virginia or Kentucky, you may not have seen it as much. So it depends where you were at as well. Because different parts of the country evolve at different points. So, yeah.
So hopefully, eventually it'll...
Well, that's always the goal with society, to be better, right? To make it better.
Right.
As long as people can do it. Although now I'm like... We got states that don't want you to read things and trying to ban books and all kinds of stuff. And it's like, you learn from those mistakes to make it a better thing. So now, like, you're saying people can't read To Kill a Mockingbird in school? Like, that's just a part of history. That's just a part of that knowledge to say, for us to be better past that point. Like, you can't, like, wash it away like it didn't exist. You know what I mean? So,
right.
You got things like that and other books that are, like, being banned. It's just like, to me, it's just silly. Like, we're not burning them, but we are banning them. So yeah,
because I feel like eventually that's going to fall by the wayside and you're eventually going to be right back in that situation.
Exactly. If you're not getting better, you're going to fall back. Right. Yeah.
That's when a couple of years ago when all the police stuff and the BLM stuff was going on, like there was a lot of statues in downtown Louisville where they were picking them up and moving them like Confederate soldiers or whatever. I was like, I understand it, but I'm like, kind of like what you're saying, like, you don't know how to go better if you, get better if you kind of take some things away. You know what I mean? Like, not necessarily just a Confederate type thing. That was just an example, but certain statues of certain people, it's like,
I mean, you can't.
That was also the time then, like you said, like you can't move forward if you don't know what the past was.
Yeah, you can't hide the history. You got to know the history to be able to accept it and look forward to change it. Otherwise, you end up repeating it. So it's kind of like going
that
forward.
Was my whole thing though.
Yeah,
because they moved a lot of the statues out of downtown or whatever, and it was like, I feel like that was a mistake. Like, I don't like the statues either, but I feel like that was part of the past. So
yeah,
you're never gonna grow unless you know where you're trying to grow from. You're gonna end up.
And I think there's a point that you can do. So my whole thing was with the statues thing. Like, I feel like if you're going to have the statues, that's one thing, but at least have the true representation of the statues if you're going to do that. The other thing is take the statues. You can still have the statues of, you could put them in a museum around the historical aspect of what happened too. But it's kind of like, do you have them or do you need them? In Germany, you can't have any of the Nazi type stuff, but people still know the history of World War II. So as long as if you're not going to have one, you still have to have another way to get education out about stuff.
Yeah.
So you look at Germany and say, well, you can't have Nazi type things, but you can still teach about the Holocaust. You can still teach about the German type stuff and everything like World War II and type things where people still get that knowledge. You just have to have a vessel that you can provide details for people to learn to be better. So you have to come up with something. If you say, well, if we're not going to have this, what are we going to have to maybe replace that? So I think that's where people need to look at as well. So it's kind of like, I agree
with that too, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, you go to some of the but
you gotta have a way of knowing it also.
Yeah, I mean, you go to some of the museums they have here, like for the African American museums, and they have some of the slavery type stuff, and they have the lynching type stuff. And it's like, I don't personally want to see that kind of stuff, but I know the importance of actually having that out there for the historical concept of it. But yeah. So you just have to have a way to actually be able to share those stories so people can learn from it.
Like I said, that's those types of things where you really look back at it. It's like, it's not been that long ago. I mean, it has been, but not really that long ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really long ago.
You ever said my great grandmother Carrie left Ireland during the Civil War and she was mean? But if you were good, you got spoiled.
So you learned.
I used to sit at her kitchen table. She fed me shoestrings, meat pies, soup stews, cold cuts, cheese and sweets, all homemade. Oh, very nice. See, that's pleasant memories you have there, Robert. That's awesome. Shark Home in the house. Cheers, homie. Good to see you, my friend. Y'all know Shark Home Brew. Make sure to check him out as well. But yeah, so it's just, you look at the aspect of things, and it'll be interesting this year. I'm going to just say 2022 will be interesting. Probably one of the most interesting mid-election years.
Oh, yeah.
Not just for us, but in centuries, just in how it'll play out. Because you got I saw a stat earlier. It was 15 of, I want to say it's 15 of 21 of the GOP people running for governors denied the election was actually a real, true election. And I'm like, that's not good. That's interesting. That's going to be an interesting setup as we head into this and then head into 2024. So hopefully people get better. People have to have the discussions that we used to have without having to jump down somebody's throat. If somebody disagrees with you, that's fine. You got to be able to have a discussion with people and not just automatically attack them. Now,
listen to what you got to say.
Right. If they're disagreeing with you and they're looking to put harm on others, that's a different thing. But, if you're having a discussion there and there's a view there, find out what other people are thinking for sure. I mean, you got to have those discussions for us to actually move forward. I feel like we got deep tonight, everybody. We got kind of deep on this one here. So we didn't have Shannon to keep us light. Shannon usually lightens us up when she's here. So
I don't know. Sometimes she goes down that trail too, though.
She does too sometimes, yeah. But we were 5 minutes to 12, so the midnight witching hour. I guess we're going to get this wrapped up, and you're going to get up and go to work in the morning. So
Dude.
Yeah.
Are you off tomorrow?
I wish. No, not tomorrow. I don't take off every Friday, Todd.
I mean, at least 3 times a month.
I don't have that many days.
It just seems like it, though. You plan it out, honestly, though.
I am looking forward to Labor Day being off, though, and everything. So
I was too. I was gonna take off the 1st and the 2nd because September 1st is my birthday. So I was gonna take off the 1st, 2nd leading into Labor Day, so I'd have like 5 days off. But we're doing our changeover at the bank since we got bought out with M&T.
Oh, yeah.
Changes up. So we're supposed to be on standby that weekend. I'm like, on a holiday weekend, you're gonna have us come in and well, I'm taking those days back and I'll use them. I forgot what the holiday is, Columbus Day maybe in October, whatever the holiday.
Yeah.
Day in October. I'm like, I'll take 2 days there then instead.
Messing up your schedule, man.
Yeah, I was like, no. Plus it was football start the weekend. I was like, what are you doing to me?
Yeah. Yeah, we're going deep indeed, yo. We're going deep indeed. Yeah. Good night, fools. Yeah, it was great catching up with everybody here and chatting and having a good time. And hopefully you guys are set to have a great weekend upcoming as we
for sure
everything wrapped up here. Trez Night fellas, have a good weekend. You as well.
Hey, Trez, have a good one.
And I'm ready for the weekend myself. So
heck yeah, always ready for the weekend.
Yeah. So 3 minutes to Friday. We're going to go ahead and get out of here, and we will catch up with you guys next week. All right, everybody. Y'all have a good one, and cheers. We will talk to you then, my friends. Be safe and keep enjoying those great beers out there. Although we didn't talk much about beer. We talked about some beers tonight. We did some beers. A little bit. Right? Yeah. But Toss One Back Thursday isn't about just beers, about everything else, too. So that being said, we're out. Cheers, everybody.